This is the Vision 79 podcast, where my friend Sander and myself, Mason, discuss recent developments in our business and personal growth. The name Vision 79 comes from our respective racing numbers. Sanders is 40, mine is 39, and we have similar ambition to progress in business and personal growth. Many successful people have started small, just like us, but very few of them have documented their early years. They often say they wish they had, and given we believe in learning lessons from others, we intend to be the first to document our journey from start to finish. This is simply a documentary of our lives, and as such, we do not monetize these videos, so enjoy the ad-free content. Each episode is broken down into 3 segments, each covering our progress over the past week. We start by discussing our life updates, then our business updates, and lastly, we share any lessons we've learned over the past week. We have timestamps in the description to navigate these sections easily. Today is July 26th, 2026, and we're recording episode 115. It's our first episode in like 3 weeks because you were sick, and so we skipped, and then you were out of town, so we skipped. So I have a lot.
Yeah,
to
we
talk
missed
about.
2 weeks.
We missed
Yeah,
2
so
weeks.
This is
So it's
the third.
3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you have for your life update?
So actually, what I did this week is I'm getting busier with the green car, the 914.
Yep.
So I wrapped in some stuff that I've put in business because it's kind of like business-ish oriented into life.
Okay.
So the life portion will be slightly longer,
Okay.
about even with the business portion.
I'll allow it. All mine are long as shit.
But Blue Origin. So starting off with Blue Origin, I'm still working on next generation test work. So that's all in progress, going through learning about the systems, learning about what's coming up, coordinating with the responsible engineers for the different subsystems and stuff like that. It's been a little bit slower for us. So it's kind of like 50-50. There are days where I get bored and stuff like that. But, continuing to do that and learn as much as I can at work. And in conjunction with that, Sammy started at Blue Origin last week.
Really?
So, yeah, she got a job there.
Oh, that's right. I remember it. She's moving before doing the Asia trip.
Yeah,
Right.
so she's
Right.
going there. Yeah,
Got it. I remember this.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you work in the same building?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Same building, just different rooms, kind of a little bit across the building. But she's doing avionics stuff. So I don't know too many details about what she's doing yet. She's kind of learning about the system and stuff like that. But it will be avionics architecture. So
Got it.
flight controllers, computers,
Also new
flight
Glenn.
sensors, stuff like that. Yeah,
Gotcha.
New
Cool.
Glenn. So kind of working alongside a little bit of what I do because I interface with a lot of avionics. So that's kind of neat. But yeah, she will be doing avionics stuff at Blue Origin.
Cool.
Yeah, Blue Origin's been a little bit slower, but just still pushing through. That is the kind of work-oriented portion. The rest of these updates are car stuff and trip stuff.
Cool.
So BMW's back in action.
It's awesome.
So I got that car back, drove it today. 2 days after I got it, the blower frame motor went out.
Yep, I remember that.
So I can leave it on speed like 2 out of 12. And it
So
doesn't
it's
make
like
a lot of
barely.
noise. Yeah, it's like a small child blowing on YouTube
Yeah.
events. Very, very.
Hey, it's more than what I got. So like take what
Yeah.
you can.
Um,
It's cold though, right? It's just not hard.
It is cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I try to start the car like 10 minutes before I get in it if I can.
Let it
That
cool
way
down a
it
little bit.
cools down a little bit before
Yeah.
I get in it.
You could park it at the garage at home now, right?
I can. I got the Miata in there.
Got it.
So just put the shade up and
Yeah.
whatever.
Let it cool
So
down.
yeah. So BMW's back in action now, driving it around. It got rid of all of the lights in terms of ABS stuff. The airbag light's still on because of the seatbelt tensioner. But I knew that was going to be the case. And the check engine light is intermittent, which I also knew was going to be the case.
Right.
So,
But all the other lights are gone.
Yeah, all the other lights are gone.
Right.
Yeah. So a lot of good work. Thank you, Autobahn. So super appreciate it. They did awesome work. And I won't disclose how much they charged me because they way undercharged me.
I texted Alex on his birthday and I was like, I hear
Oh,
you did a
cool.
great job. I said, I hear you did a great job with Sanders' car, and he didn't reply. So I don't think he wants to work on your car again anytime soon. Or his number
He
changed.
said
I
it
don't
wasn't
know.
that bad. I told him I'm sorry for the pain, and I gave
Well-
him a very healthy tip.
Well, that's good. They specialize in this, so like they know what they know that they signed up for this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Masochist.
Tom famously said that if they service Japanese cars, they wouldn't have a business.
The irony is that I spent $1,000 servicing my Lexus, my
Yes.
Japanese car this week,
Yeah.
or this month. But yeah,
But yeah, so it's back in action though. I've been driving it around.
Cool.
And on the Miata, in preparation for the trip, got new tires on the car, And then with that did oil change, fixed a coolant leak from one of the heater hoses. I did the master, the booster, the calipers, pads, rotors, radiator cap, slave cylinder, intake tube, and got an alignment. So did a lot of work on that car. The brake job was quite the fiasco. I started to get sick like towards the last quarter of it.
Yeah.
So that
Well, at
was
first you
rough.
thought you were just tired. You were like,
Yeah.
oh man, I'm super tired. And then like right at the end, you were like, ah,
No, I'm not
fuck.
good.
Yeah.
I got like genuinely super sick.
Yep.
But I fought with a bunch of stuff. It's really just hard to find good parts. I called Mazda, tried to buy OEM. No OEM calipers available. No OEM booster. No OEM master. Nothing. Like you can't get anything. I did manage to get a cooling fan relay for that car, which was good.
Cool.
I bought the last 2 available from Mazda. They only have 2 left. I bought them both.
Dude, you just gotta tell him like, what do you have left for this year car? And I'll just
Right.
I'll just take it all. It'll be like 10 grand, but like you'll never have to worry about those components again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they are running out of stuff. I'm getting what I can, but yeah, I was forced to get a aftermarket master and aftermarket booster. And the booster is a real headache because the rod that pushes into the master was adjustable on the booster. And the factory one's not. It's just made to fit,
Right.
which is how it should be.
Right.
But the old one was adjustable and the casing was a slightly different shape. So I had to do a bunch of measurements to get all the alignment right and then get it in with the master. And then once I got it in there, it felt a little bit weird going in and out. Like it had a little bit of like kind of like a grittiness to it almost. It was weird.
There was like a sticking point, right?
Yeah, and there was a sticking point too. So I took it out, then put the old booster in, and then realized that I just never paid attention to it. Yeah, I'd gotten used to it. So then I put the new one back in and re-greased the shaft with the better quality grease.
Right.
And so got that together. And I tried to do a proportioning valve on the car too. I was like, I'll do something fun. I'll do a Willwood proportioning valve and it'll be adjustable and it'll be a great time.
Smack your wrist for doing something fun. How dare you? You saw
it. I bought a good one, Find Me Auto, Willwood. The adapters that they manufacture for fitting up to metric lines, because the factory Willwood is SAE lines. They have those adapters. So Find Me Auto makes their own that are metric.
Right.
In the process of putting on those lines, the adapter broke.
Which sucks because Flying Miata is usually a reputable aftermarket brand.
Usually they're really good.
Yeah.
So that was really disappointing. And so I had to take that out, just clean the old one, put that back in. And then I had a bunch of caliper issues. Fronts were fine, which is what to be expected, but I had rear caliper issues.
Specifically, the right rear caliper.
Always. So the housing was incorrect. So I did a return, and it ended up, we put it on, didn't realize it, and then we drove the car about 10 feet. And there was a horrible sound from the right rear. So I backed it back onto the lift.
There's the Zach Judge special where you drag the bare caliper along the rotor.
Yeah. And so it ended up ruining the rotor. The caliper was a little bit damaged, but warrantyable.
Yeah.
So ended up having to take that apart. Then you found me a caliper at AutoZone, which I appreciate.
I picked it up. You found it.
Well, anyways, I didn't pick it up. But, and I was looking at it and I was thinking I could put this one on, but I wonder what else I can source. And so I started calling around to try and figure out what parts there were at. And I never tried O'Reilly's before for really anything. Very few things I've gotten for O'Reilly's. But I was like, I wonder what they got for calipers, because I've run through the AutoZone ones before and they're decent. They last a few years and they'll start leaking from something. Yeah.
They can do it.
But I went to O'Reilly's. I called them up, and they were like, "We can get one in today, the right rear." Because at that point, I didn't know if the one that you'd gotten me to fit yet. It was like a time coordination thing.
Right.
And so I got the right rear from them, and I realized it had this really nice green coating on it that was super thick. And I was like, "Ooh, this will be great for beachside. It'll protect the caliper." And so what I ended up doing is I made sure that when the one you got fit, it did. So I kept that one, kept the other one I got from Autobahn off the rear. The left rear. That was good from Autobahn. I kept those two in the boxes. And then I got the left rear from O'Reilly's. And so I have two matching ones from O'Reilly's on the rear that have the coating. And then on the front, I have the standard ones I get without any coating.
Right.
And so essentially what I'm doing is which one kind of looks better over the years. So I compare a little bit.
And you have a spare right rear, left rear
Yes.
from Autobahn and
AutoZone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I ended up doing for calipers.
Smart.
Pads, I did the Hawk HP Plus pads. I always do those. I love them. And then I do a stock solid rotor. Because I found that they get up to temp quick, and it's pretty challenging to get them to fade.
Yeah.
And so I ended up doing that route. And I didn't have any fade issues in Tennessee at all, and I was quite hard on the car.
Good.
And so I was super happy with the setup. Everything brake oriented worked. Nothing broke really. The only stuff in Tennessee that broke was it didn't force me to stop, but I had some play in left front ball joint, lower ball joint
Gotcha.
on the control arm. So I ended up swapping those out when I got back. I did both sides, swap those ball joints out, and it had play. Like if you took it out, you could feel it.
Right.
In the actual joint itself. So just rattled loose from the bumps and hard corner and stuff like that. So
Well, you haven't done those in a while, right?
yeah, it's been a while since I did suspension work. So that's all the stuff I did on the Miata. It all worked super well. In addition, I'm sure you'll talk about it, but we did oil change and front and rear brakes on your car.
Yeah.
And then this week, I also helped Mike's son with his Corvette. He had to remove the exhaust system on it.
What year?
It's a C5. I don't know what year specifically.
Late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, I think it's a later one. It looks really clean. It's nice.
Probably early 2000s, 2004 or 5.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I didn't ask.
That's okay.
I don't know. But I helped him remove the exhaust system on that car because he had a muffler, the kind of like the sheet metal wrap around the muffler. It cracked, and it was springing a crack across it.
You know, mine's completely blown out.
The muffler?
Yeah. It looks like dude, the bottom of my muffler looks like the back of JFK's head. There's a huge hole just blown out of the muffler. Has been for years.
Oh.
Yep.
I didn't know there was a hole in it.
Well, yeah, I don't know how it happened either, because it looks like it happened from the inside. Like, it doesn't look like it's like I ran over something and it punctured in.
Yeah.
It is like out. It's weird. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what I don't want to think about it. Keep going.
But yeah, so I helped him remove that. What sucks is that I don't think the lift will be available to go the other way.
To put it back on?
Yeah. So I think, but he said he's gonna try and drive the car with the muffler in the trunk to the exhaust guy, because they have a lift there, and then he can.
He can't just do it with jack stands?
You can, but we had to take off. He has a custom exhaust, and there's a big X pipe piece as well that goes across the whole tunnel. And it's just like it's a very snug fit between the muffler section that goes over the axle and then that X pipe.
Got it.
And so it's just a snug fit. It's kind of a pain.
Yeah, I get it. When I take my Y pipe out, I have to get it on all 4 jack stands, and then it's helpful to use a trans jack to kind of get it under there. But I mean, my Y pipe is light enough that I can just like rest it on my chest and then like dump it out.
Yeah.
But X pipes are heavier, so I get it.
Yeah, it's
Does he wrench on his cars usually, or is this kind of like a first time thing?
He's kind of like entry level mechanic style, like
Frank?
oil changes. No, better than Frank.
Okay.
Like oil changes. Fleck.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like oil changes, coolant stuff, some basic stuff.
Got
the manual kind of work through.
Got it. Competent, but just hasn't been in the internals of an engine.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, well, actually, he has, but I think he rebuilt it. He rebuilt the Corvette motor, but he did it with his dad.
Okay.
His dad is more mechanically savvy, of course.
Right.
So I think he did it with Mike. But no, I mean he's competent, but just he hasn't been like under a car as a profession, right?
Yeah.
So
dude, I'll tell you, if he's driving it to the exhaust guy without the X pipe in it, and it's just dumping like headers under the car, it's gonna sound real similar to what I got going on right here.
Very loud.
Yeah.
It sounds.
Well, that'd be an LS1, right, from the C5. Yeah, there's similar levels of volume.
Yeah,
I think the LS1 is a little
burnout in front of my shop. It was super loud.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like his dad was there, and he's like, "I gotta do donuts in the parking lot," and Mike is like, "Okay." And he fucking tears out in a burnout and it does donuts in the back, and it comes with that.
That's funny.
It's so funny.
Yeah, yesterday I started my car and Grace was like, she like jumped back and she was like, "Is it okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's broken, but it's fine." And she was like, "Okay," because she's like sensitive to loud noises.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't like fireworks and stuff, so she was startled. And I did a lap, and then I came back to the bar and I walked in, And Vivian was there and she was like, Mason, what did you do to make your car so loud? And I was like, it's broken. And then I went and I sat down.
Yep. But did that stuff, and then on Mike's Porsche, the 914 I'm working on for with him, it got the fuel system together. I couldn't quite recall where I left off, but long story short, got the fuel system together with fuel pump, got that car started and running. And then after that, started digging into the wiring. There's a few wiring issues on the car, so pulled out all the wiring for the aftermarket lights and air horns that the previous owner had added.
That's sick.
And went back to stock wiring on the front end, and then opened up the dashboard and have started going through methodically and pulling out the aftermarket relays and other stuff that previous owner added in order to kind of clean that area up and make it a little bit more stock. So probably about 40% of the way through that process right now.
Cool.
Pulled the steering wheel out, a couple other trim pieces, the under dash panel and stuff like that. And so I've been working through that and made a little bit of progress last night, and hopefully we'll make some more progress today, helping him out with that and trying to get that car sorted so that he can sell it. The biggest hurdle being is that it had an aftermarket security system installed.
That's annoying.
So it's
who would get a security system for like?
It was like a weird 80s guy. He did a bunch of weird shit.
It's a manual, right? It's all the security you need in this day and age.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, that's what I'm nervous about because it ties into a lot of stuff like ignition switch and lights and horns. And he went all out. He did locks. He did safety latch locks on the hood and trunk that were incorporated into the wiring harness. So it's a lot of like, you have to be methodical with what you really want to address and what you don't want to touch.
Right.
And I think there's going to be a certain I'm going to probably get to a certain point where I've taken out most of the aftermarket stuff, and there's a portion of it under the dash that I can't really sort out confidently without pulling the dash out.
Right.
Because it's just hard to see under there.
Right.
And I think at that point, I'm going to be like, let's make sure the car starts. And if it starts and I can make this look clean up in the dash and you can't see most of what's been done, let's call it a day.
Right.
Because there's a certain point where you get with that stuff where if you're going to go that far, you got to pull everything out. And at that point, is it worth just getting another harness?
Right.
Which is an expensive item. You know, I think I looked at new harnesses. They were like $4,000.
How much
like
is he going to sell the car for?
He's looking to at minimum get 50 out of it.
But he has 5.0?
5.0.
It's a flat 6?
Yeah, it's been converted to a 3.2 or a 3.0.
Okay.
With a 6-speed. Got it. I mean, it's a good car. It probably will fetch around that.
Okay.
But he also already has 50 in it, and so like everything we spend, you know, it's not really.
You kind of want to get it out the door.
Yeah. So I'm kind of trying to do it as best I can for him without giving up on it and being like, just buy a new harness. So just trying to do a decent job, but also not spend an arm and a leg trying to make it perfect.
Yeah. It's a good balancing act.
Yeah, it's a little bit of that. But also this week I helped out Mike weld some stuff for like a Bobcat. It's like the thing with the lift bucket on the front. So I did my first weld. I welded a plate for him.
Second weld.
Oh yeah, second weld. That's right, because I welded the cap on the pin, which I also fixed for the lift. And that was most of the stuff outside of my Tennessee trip. So Tennessee trip was super fun. Thank you for feeding the cats. Super appreciate it. But up there we rented it was like a cabin style place, but it was also like kind of apartment complex style. It was weird. It was like cabins, but in an apartment complex building.
Interesting. Okay.
And so we had one of those. And there we rented that spot for Thursday, Friday, Saturday night.
Got it. 3 nights.
Yep. So 3 nights. And while we were up there, we did the Tail of the Dragon, as well as State Road 32, which is another great driving road.
Is that a lot of twists and turns?
Yeah. I'll talk about them.
Okay. I'm unfamiliar with 32. I know the Tail.
Oh, okay.
Not 32.
Yeah. It's a lesser known one. We saw bears. We saw like 6 bears. It was pretty cool. We saw bears.
Were you close?
I was within 15 feet of one of them.
In the car?
I was in the car.
Okay.
And I was sitting there, and he was in the bushes, like maybe to the maybe to the couch right there.
Yikes.
Yeah. So to the couch right there. And he was in the bushes. I knew he was there. He was munching on some berries.
Uh-huh.
And then I went, and he popped up. He popped up and he was like, whoo. Yeah, it was cool. And then he
That's
went
cool.
back to munching.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
it was cool. It was cool. But saw bears. We did indoor snow tubing, funny enough. They have like real snow and ice indoors that they pipe in.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like a water slide, but inside and on
Yes,
tubes. On ice.
exactly. Yeah.
That looks like fun.
Yeah, we did that. We went to an old school diner restaurant that was like, it was a really big diner, but they had a bunch of cool old cars and, you know, aesthetic theme and whatever.
Cool.
So did that. We went to, on our last day, we also went to Pigeon Forge in Gatlinburg. That's where we stayed. We stayed in Gatlinburg, and the Pigeon Forge is kind of like a touristy side of things.
Did you go to any of the like battle sites or anything?
No, we didn't do any of that stuff. We just kind of walked around the city area and shops and restaurants and stuff like that.
Did they have good shops and stuff to walk around?
Yeah, they had so many. There was a lot of stuff that we didn't have time to do that we wanted to do. There was a cool like hypercar exhibit that we totally like weren't able to go to. But it looks really cool.
Cool.
So next time.
Yeah.
But
that's good to hear. Grace and I have gone to West Palm like 3 times in the last 2 months. There's nothing interesting to do there. Like everyone talks about West Palm Beach being nice, Mar-a-Lago is there and everything. It's pretty, but like it's furniture stores. And that's it. There's nothing interesting to go to. So I was curious about Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge to
there's
see.
a ton of stuff to do.
Yeah.
We did a mountain coaster. Do you know what that is?
No, but I'll look it up.
It's a
Oh, is it the thing where you start and stop as you go down the rail?
Yeah.
You've got a brake, but no power. It's just gravity fed. Yeah.
So we just held it down the whole time. Just went full speed. Because you go together,
right,
as a pair, and we just went full speed down the mountain coaster, and we did at night too, which was a lot of fun. They have a bunch of LED lights and stuff like that. It was super cool. It was like a 7-minute ride, 8-minute ride.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
For gravity fed. Yeah. Pretty good.
But we did that. That was a ton of fun.
Do they have like a lift or something to get you to the top, or like I imagine you park at the bottom, right?
Yeah. So the coaster starts at the bottom. You get in it, and then you go up like a track lift.
So some of it's powered.
Yeah,
it's got like an escalator that
there were actually 4 different hills on the route. So you go up powered, and then you go down a bunch of the first hill, and then you go up powered, second hill, third hill, fourth hill gets you all the way down.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, it was part of it's powered, and then some of it you just go for.
Right.
So we did that, and then we did something called the Lost Sea, which is the largest underground ocean in the world, I think. It's called the Lost Sea. It's in Tennessee. We got fact checking out here.
You got what?
Fact checking.
No, I just am unfamiliar.
No,
with
I'm just playing around.
It looks cool.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. So it's
big lake underground.
Yeah, it's like 1,500 feet underneath the surface.
Wow.
You get down there, you walk through all these caves and caverns, and then you walk there, and then you take a boat around, and they have fish in the ocean. Yeah, they got rainbow trout. And so
have they been put in there?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
They put them in there. But it's really cool. I mean, you're in this ocean, like underground in a cave, and there's fish swimming around in the water. Super cool.
Dude, if we had an editor, we'd put photos in, right?
Yeah. But it was amazing. Yeah, look it up if you don't know what it
cool.
is. It's really beautiful. So we did that, and then the Tail of the Dragon and State Road 32 and the bears were probably like the main highlights.
Right.
If I had to pick an attraction that was a highlight, a lot of them were fun. Indoor snow tubing was fun. The mountain coaster was awesome.
Right.
The event highlight for me was micro wrestling.
You did send me a picture of
this
that.
shit was so friggin' sick.
Why don't you explain to the audience what micro wrestling is?
So micro wrestling is like, it's like WWE where it's like staged wrestling, but it's all little people. It's friggin' awesome.
Midget wrestling beat out Tail of the Dragon?
It didn't beat out Tail of the Dragon.
Okay, but of the like events
of
the tourist
because like the Tail of the Dragon was awesome and the bears were super cool, but like as of like where to go to see something, beat out everything, dude. Legendary experience. So we were stuck in traffic. We saw a billboard that said micro wrestling, and we were both like, "What the fuck is that?" And I was like, is that midget wrestling? Like, is this it? And dude, it was. And Sammy was like, oh my God, they have a show tonight. You got it. I was like, all right. So I turned off traffic. We went there. And I was like, this is going to be super awkward. Because my expectation was it's going to be like kind of like a grungy, like weird Tennessee thing.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere. And we're going to be one of like 5 people in the audience. And it's just going to be midgets wrestling in a cage. Like, that was my expectation. It was just going to be like awkward.
Rinky dink, right?
Yeah. Dude, we got there, professional setup. Like, legit, dude. Legit. Every single seat that they had out was filled. There must have been like 250 people there.
Really?
Dude, packed.
Dude, hell yeah.
Packed. And then, so they do it like WWE. Like, they bring out each person. They're like,
They have like an announcer.
standing 4 feet 6 inches, 120 pounds.
Oh my God.
He escaped from the psych ward, but now he's here. It's Psycho. And then they run out, and they run out through the crowd, and they do the handshakes, they do all the high fives and shit. And they got like a whole skit going. And it was like an hour and a half of that.
Yeah.
It was friggin'
That's
awesome,
sick, dude.
I lost my voice. I was screaming. Dude, it was like, there was this one other guy, Micro Tiger, and he didn't speak English or whatever. And so when he'd go down and they'd tap like the count, the entire crowd would go, meow, 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 meow. Because he was like a tiger or whatever. Dude, legendary. It was so fun. I texted one of my coworkers the picture I sent you, and he was like, have fun, always a good time. He knew, dude.
That's so funny, man.
It was awesome. Super awesome.
Dude, on your next trip to Vegas to see not bears, but like whatever they have in Vegas, you should go to a midget strip club and let me know how it is. See if your coworker knows that one.
Dude, it was amazing. I can't recommend it enough. Everyone was happy to be there. Everyone had a great time.
That's cool.
It was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
They have like 63 million views on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, it's like big.
Dude, hell yeah.
Yeah. So
I hope the wrestlers get paid well. The wrestling industry can suck, so I hope they get paid well.
Yeah, I hope so.
What's interesting about micro wrestling compared to regular wrestling is that for regular wrestling, you have the criteria of like, you have to have a high pain tolerance, you have to be good at acting, you have to like follow the script and everything. Like, you have to be good at wrestling, right? But what's interesting about micro wrestling is you can have someone who is all of that, but they're a regular person. Like, you have to find a little person who also fits all that criteria.
Right.
So they're harder to find. So I feel like they deserve more pay because you have a smaller like pool to pull from, you know?
It was so fun. It was so fun. Great time. Absolute like core memory experience. Like, I will never unlive that.
Good.
But yeah, I mean, the Lost Sea was beautiful and stuff like that. But in terms of the roads up there, the roads and the scenery make me want to move. It's fucking incredible. It is incredible. Like, everything.
You don't like 192?
No. No. Dude, I came back down here and I was like, this actually fucking blows. Like, this actually fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But dude, it's like every road up there, there's not a ton of roads. Because it's very hard to make a road. Because it's like, it is the most mountainous region I've been to.
Yeah.
It is like to get to our cabin, we had to go up a road, and it's like, it's probably a solid 30 or 40 degrees, which is a lot.
The whole time.
Yeah, the whole time. But there were portions where it would go 30 degrees and then it would plateau off and then go another steep, another direction.
Yeah.
The Miata going up that, I would 3-wheel coming out off of the slope onto the plateau. The whole car would 3-wheel. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Turning off that because of the
it flattens
change
out
of the flatness.
Your like left rear would come up off the ground while you're going around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so the whole car would like 3-wheel and then like settle back down. I'd get like some wheel spin where it was like maybe about to bottom out.
Dude, thank God you went during the summer. Like, if you went during the winter,
I'd been screwed.
Yeah, you'd have to get chains or something, or a more torquey car. Yeah.
But I mean, it's insane. Like, every road you drive up there also goes through a national park.
Right.
So it's like everything there is like pristine. There's waterfalls everywhere, beautiful trees, like rock, like caverns. It's gorgeous. I forgot to mention this. We did whitewater rafting. too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we did that too.
Dude, hell yeah. One of the bartenders from POW moved up north to be a whitewater rafting guide.
Yeah.
And he really likes it.
Dude, it was awesome. The whitewater rafting place we went to, I forget the name. I'm sorry, but
I don't care.
it was awesome.
Mhm.
It was all old school. So it was like old school log cabins when you got there. The buses were from the 70s.
Oh,
Like
Jesus.
genuine.
Dude,
from
that's
the
cool
70s.
though.
They had the rafts strapped with ropes to the roof of the buses.
Oh, man.
Like old school buses from the 70s. And then they go out there, they drop you off. And dude, the toughest there's 5 categories
Mhm.
of whitewater rafting. The ones that we were able to do, it was the toughest in Tennessee, and they're categories 3 and 4 almost the whole way.
What are
5
the
is the
categories?
highest.
5 is the highest. Okay.
Yeah. So
Got it.
they're 3 and 4. But we did that. It was a ton of fun. You know,
Did it feel sketchy at all? Like while you were doing it?
No, the guys
Just
were
safe?
really good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and they do cool stuff, like they'd spin you around and stuff like that, but
Right.
we wouldn't flip or anything like that.
Right.
But it
I
was
imagine if you flipped, it's not a good time.
I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So like I didn't know how wet I was gonna get. And so I just wore my regular clothes.
I think it's very wet.
I wore
think the answer's
jeans.
soaking wet.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
drenched. I wore jeans and my work boots. And dude, I ruined my work boots.
Oh my god.
Ruined my work
Are these the
boots.
new work boots too that you had
No,
recently
the old
replaced?
ones.
Okay, well that's
Old
good
ones.
at least.
But like I got drenched because they were like, "Oh, you could like float in the water here," and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm already soaked." So
Yeah.
I literally got in the water and I just floated around in like a calmer portion.
Yeah.
But it was a ton of fun. But like the roads up there and the scenery,
Mhm.
it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's like picture perfect. Like I have photos of the Miata on the top of the mountains.
Mhm.
And it's just like picture perfect with my travel boot bag on the trunk. Like it's
Dude,
immaculate.
Can I show you a photo?
Yeah.
I'm in a bunch of LC500 Facebook groups.
Yeah.
But so Grace and I are taking this trip to New York in a couple weeks.
Oh, okay. Cool.
To the Adirondack Mountains.
Wow.
And Gordon Lightfoot is from that region.
Okay.
And so like he sings about some of the rivers that we're gonna go see. And I was like, oh dude, like I would so much more enjoy a trip like this if I could drive like one of my cars up there, right? And then I was like, dude, driving an LC up there would be fucking sick. Like what a great experience that would be.
Yeah.
Someone posted this weekend in
Yes.
the Lexus chat.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh dude, that's fucking gorgeous. That's exactly, I think,
Yeah,
what you were
similar
experiencing.
to what
Right.
what I was seeing. It was
Right.
it's just I mean, it's like picture perfect. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
And the Tail of the Dragon was awesome.
Mhm.
It was super fun. I went there. I spent like $100 on like a Miata sign and a Porsche sign
Mhm.
with the Tail of the Dragon. I got a hat. Sammy got something too for herself. I forgot. But I got some shirts.
Mhm.
A couple of 2 shirts.
Did they sell underwear there for people who shit themselves doing it?
No, they don't. That'd be a funny addition though.
Yeah, it would be.
But yeah, there was
You can sell underwear, and on the back it says, "I shit my pants on the tail of the dragon."
Oh yeah, nice. And on the front, it's just the dragon.
That's a funny
That
idea.
would have been good. That's a great idea. That would have been super funny.
Hey man, we could quit it all. We could move out there.
Yeah,
and
make
start a
underwear.
business. Yeah.
Pull up my e-commerce skills again. But yeah, there was like a motorcycle side to the stop, and then like a car side to the stop. There were like 2 different venues. I went to both of them, checked them all out, took a bunch of photos. And then I thought I was only going to do the tail once. I ended up doing it 3 times.
Yeah.
So it was so fun.
Yeah. While you're there, dude, do it.
Yeah. But like, I mean, I probably drove the roads up there 80 to 90% of what I'm capable of. So it was
Right.
pretty hard.
Right.
And I mean, the car was happy. The roads were so fun. I mean, it's like you get like crests over and then like off camber corner into like a hairpin at the bottom and then into another hairpin at the top. And like the cool thing is like there's a lot of like the tail. So I'll talk about this, but a lot of the Tail of the Dragon is like between 90-degree and 150-degree corners.
Okay.
So it's like
Switchbacks.
almost full hairpins, but not quite like full hairpin. A lot of that, but there's a ton of them in a row. And so it's super, super fun.
And if they're not quite full hairpins, then you can carry a little more speed through them than if you had to do like a
little
full
bit.
180. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ton of fun. It was relatively quiet when I went to.
Well, that's good. So you weren't too worried about like someone coming the opposite direction and like understeering?
Yeah. Yeah. There was one guy in a Corvette that oversteered into my lane oncoming, but he caught it. we were good.
Cool.
So I survived.
Was it a newer Corvette?
Yeah, it was like a C7.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, he was just getting on it
Yeah,
too hard.
yeah.
But I mean, I was pretty happy with myself too. I didn't have anyone catch up to me that I had to let by. Because people will let you buy there if you catch up.
Right.
So I didn't have anyone of that. Ate up there was a bunch of like newer Camaros and Chargers and Corvettes there. Ate all those guys up.
Dude, the last car I would want to take on that road is a fucking Dodge Charger. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. There was like a group of them that came.
Got it.
And like I ate those guys up instantly, like right on their tail.
How long is the drive from top to bottom?
11 miles.
I mean time. Like, is it a 30-minute or is it
Oh,
like...
I don't know, because there are portions where like I would slow down and like take in the scenery a little bit, as well as get stuck behind another car.
Right.
So I don't know like what a time trial would look like for it. I'd say you could probably, if you were really pushing, average like 50
minutes?
No, 50 miles an hour.
I mean, like, how long would it take you?
Right.
to
So
do
my
that?
guess would be like 13 minutes.
Okay, got it.
That's my guess.
So when you were driving it, it took like maybe 20?
Yeah,
Got
something
it.
like
Okay,
that. Yeah.
cool.
Maybe less. I don't. Probably around 18.
Was it sketchy
that.
passing people? Because it's only 2 lanes, right?
Yeah. So you don't. The number one rule on the tail is you never cross. Never.
So
cross
someone will pull over off the road to let you by.
Yeah. So there's pull off spots.
Got
so
it.
people will pull off in those pull off spots, and then
Smart.
you go by.
Smart.
Yeah. So never cross your lane.
Unless
because
you're oversteering it.
all of it's blind and you
Right.
can't see.
Right.
And so, ton of fun there. Really great experience. Great photos of the Miata. Professional cameramen are staged all around it.
They are good photos. Did you
yeah.
buy them or did you?
I'm gonna buy them tonight.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
They're good photos.
Yeah, they're good photos.
It's tough getting good photos of you driving the car in anger,
Yeah.
right? Because you can go take rollers on the highway whenever you want, but like
Right.
getting good photos of cornering is difficult on public roads.
Yeah.
And so like that's a unique experience and a good
Right.
photo. They were good photos.
It was awesome. I was super happy. One of the cameramen, I was going through like it was probably a 120-degree corner, and I was going pretty quick through it, and I was happy because my car, it started in the center of the frame and ended up in the front of the frame because he was trying to catch up to it. So
Yeah.
yes, I'm doing okay.
Faster than the cameraman expects.
Yeah. So I was doing good. The only guy that I held with, he wasn't really quicker than me. I wasn't really quicker than him. His number plate, he was in a Honda Civic Si, newer one. His number plate was 129 MPC, and the route is 129.
What is MPC?
It's like, like in a video game, like the
regular... NPC.
Yeah.
Got it.
The
Okay,
regular
cool.
players.
I thought you said M, like Mason.
Oh,
okay,
no,
got
no.
it. Cool.
NPC. Yeah. So
dude, Grace the other day was telling me about a grocery store in the Adirondacks we're going to, and she was like, yeah, it's called the Big N. And I was like, is it next to the pharmacy called the Hard R? And she was like, what? And I was like, the Big N? And she was like, no, M. And I was like, oh. Like, so it's the second time I've not heard the right M or N in the last like 2 days.
Yeah, but so he's obviously a regular.
Yeah.
If it's got a custom plate with the route on it.
Yeah. Well, you've never driven it before, so it's not like you know what the next corner is.
Yeah, it was like that was my third time driving it where I bumped into him.
Right.
And I kept on pace right with him. And he was going pretty good.
Cool.
And so I was happy with that. But a ton of fun. And then shout out to State Road 32. It is, I think it might be more fun than the Dragon, to be honest.
How does it compare? Like in elevation and corners, is it similar?
I'll tell you a little bit about it. The main portion of the route is 7 miles, but in reality, the twisties are probably closer to 10. Okay. But like technically, it starts to get really twisty for 7 miles.
Okay.
It goes to the North Carolina border.
Okay.
And then it turns to gravel. So you have you take it all the way up, and then you stop, turn around, and then take it back.
Right.
And so that road, it's less maintained. It's rougher. That's where I think I blew out the ball joints. On that road. It is rougher. It's like some of it's patched asphalt and stuff like that.
Got it.
Less maintained. The road, the scenery was, I think, better because it was the tail of the Dragon's kind of mostly within a mountain, and then there are portions that you can see kind of over the edge, and you get some scenery. This was carving up the side.
Oh, that's cool. So you get a good view the whole time.
Always have the edge. The scary thing is the tail of the Dragon has guardrails and stuff. No guardrails. Like if you go off, like you are going.
Right. Well, in all honesty, like even if you went off at the tail, like you'll hit a guardrail we'd probably roll over the guardrail in most instances.
Yeah, or there are portions without guardrails too. I mean,
Mhm.
it is sketchy. They have a
Yeah.
lot of depths up there. I mean, it
Yeah,
is,
for sure.
yeah.
Did you ever did you ever have like an ass puckering moment where you were like, ah, that was close?
No,
Okay.
no. So shout out to the tires too. I haven't been able to break those tires loose once.
Really?
Not once. I even
Have you
tried
tried that?
hairpins first gear hammer down. Can't
Really?
break them loose.
Oh, hell
Cannot
yeah,
break them
dude.
loose.
Cool.
I wasn't even able to get them to squeal. Like
Really?
it's like I go into a corner, like I'm honestly at the point where it's like I don't feel comfortable pushing these tires on the road because I don't know what they're gonna do past their grip point. Like, are
Right.
they just gonna snap?
Right.
Right? Because
Do you hit the cliff and then it's like
right,
oversteer?
because
Right.
slick tires will grip, and then they just snap and release.
Right.
And so I don't know what these tires are gonna do.
Right.
But it's like I could corner as fast as I want and never have an issue.
Wow.
It was crazy.
You should take. I wonder if you could take it to like a skid pad and just fuck around and like
That's what I
see if you
wanna
can
do.
find the limit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly like. There's a chance that the car, like the tires, give up after the chassis, in terms of
Yeah.
like torsional rigidity. Like the tires might be no longer the limiting factor for. Like you just might need more power. You know.
Yeah.
If you wanted to continue.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Hell
yeah.
yeah, because as soon as you slip, it might just bog.
Yeah.
Um,
Good for braking too, though. If you've got that much grip. Yeah.
it was incredible. Like I could drive the car as hard as I want, and it continuously felt stable.
Right.
Like this new model of tire is leaps and bounds better than the first two because I've had every iteration of the tire.
Right.
I had the REs, then they came out with the RSs, and now they have the RZs, and now I have those. I mean, it's just crazy. The tire is insane. But
State Road 32.
yeah, State Road 32, a little bit rougher, definitely a lot of cliffs and stuff like that. The really cool thing about State Road 32, which I really enjoyed in the Miata, was there were a ton of hairpins, but they were 200 or 220 degree hairpins. So you'd come in going like this, and then it would be a full hairpin and over 180
Right.
back, and then it would go up again. And so I think it was about 1,500 feet of elevation change when I looked it up total. But you had these hairpins, and it was like you would get the car all loaded up at like 25 miles an hour through this super tight hairpin,
Right.
super loaded up, and then you'd go up a mountain into another one, back down into like it was crazy.
Yeah. You go up and
super
down.
fun. Yes.
Up and down.
Mostly up on the way to North Carolina, and then mostly down coming back.
Right.
And I enjoy the uphill a lot more because it feels more technical. And you can drive
little
harder
later.
without getting to like 80 miles an hour.
Yeah. You braked a little later too, like going
Yeah.
into the turns and stuff.
Yeah, so it's more entertaining there. But yeah, I mean the roads all the roads are just amazing. But like especially like these two the Tail of the Dragon and State Road 32, like both awesome.
Yeah.
Super fun experience.
Cool.
But yeah, it was an amazing trip, had a great time, super enjoyed the roads. The car was flawless. I was super happy with the performance of the car.
Good.
And it all went well. I'm super happy that I didn't wreck and didn't break the car. So those were
What
the
do you
main
imagine
goals.
breaking down in the middle of one of those roads?
It would suck.
Getting a tow truck
I
out
took
there?
parts with me. I had so in the trunk I had the spare calipers, I had the sway cylinder, and then I had ratchets, sockets,
It's a good idea.
wrenches,
Yeah.
brake fluid, oil. Like I had a full bag, like an 80-pound bag of stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't need to use any of it. It was great.
Good.
But I'm glad I had it, of course. And it was so fun.
Good.
It was such a great time.
Good.
I cannot recommend it enough. I think I'll probably be going back there this year. Like it was that
Cool.
fun. And I really want to do it again. I'd love to do it in the 914.
I will go with you in an LC. So by the time you have a 914 fixed, I'll have an LC and we'll go together.
It was incredible.
Cool.
I cannot recommend it enough.
Cool.
Scenery, the bears are super cool. The roads,
Mhm.
all the activities were a ton of fun. The mountain coaster, it's just awesome.
Mhm.
It was a great trip. Didn't open a laptop once, just enjoyed it.
Cool.
It was perfect.
Cool.
But that about concludes my life update for this week.
Cool.
What do you have for life?
I have a bunch of stuff. I'm trying to find the time here. We're at 20 minutes. We can keep going.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of stuff, but I'm going to kind of cut it down because most of it is going to be LC related in the like
Sure.
life lessons section. But the first life update I have is I have never watched soccer in my entire life. I've never seen a whole game through all the way. I played soccer, didn't even pay attention through a whole game then. It doesn't matter. But they have
Forgot
had
about the World Cup.
well, this was like weeks ago. Like they
Yeah.
ended last weekend. So like they had the World Cup on at the bar, and like I didn't give a shit. And then I saw a highlight reel of a soccer player. He's Norwegian. He's the big, tall, long hair, blonde Norwegian guy.
Yeah.
And
Holland.
Holland. He scored a goal by kicking the ball into an Israeli player's face, and then it went into
I
the goal.
saw that.
And I was like, that is sick. I've never seen soccer like that before.
His face was all like,
Yeah, dude, completely smashed. And like, if you zoom in on Holland's face, he's like grinning smugly, like while he's kicking it to the guy. And then I found out that's not the first time he scored a goal off another player's face. It's like the 5th time it's happened. And so I was like, maybe I could get into soccer. And I found out that he was playing in the World Cup.
Nice.
And so on a Friday, I watched my first ever soccer game all the way through in the World Cup. It was one of the Holland's games. He played against, I don't even fucking remember. But I watched it and I was like, oh, that's cool. But there's a bunch of stuff in soccer. There's weird rules in soccer. And apparently there's like specific rules for the World Cup that are even weirder. And so I started casually in my free time learning about it. Like as I'm watching the games, I'm looking up the rules and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And starting to learn about the players and like the history of the teams and like how long has the World Cup been happening, whatever. That's on a Friday. On a Tuesday, I'm back at the bar and Mateus is hanging out there. And he was like, oh, like, who are you rooting for here? And I was like, oh, I'm rooting for this team, for this reason. Like, who do you want to win? He was like, oh, well, I'm from Brazil. And so like the rule for Brazilians is if Brazil is out of the World Cup, which they were at the time, he was like, the number 1 rule is you can't root for Argentina. The number 2 rule is if there's a South American team left over, then root for South American team. And then the 3rd rule is if there's no Argentina and there's no South American team, just root for anyone who has less World Cups than Brazil. And I laughed and I was like, yeah, it sucks because Brazil has kind of like fallen off over the past 20 years. They have like, these specific players. And I started getting into the specifics of like why I don't think they're good anymore because I had started learning about the strategy of soccer. And it's interesting because like there's 2 core different philosophies in soccer, which is either you have like a set formation of players and then you play the ball in that formation to try to get a goal. And then the other team has their own set of formation and then there's kind of like an even space between players, right?
Yeah.
But that all goes away if you change your strategy to the opposite team has their set formation and then you just pair up your people man to man. Now their set piece doesn't work anymore.
Got it.
And so different teams play with different styles. And so I was talking to him about that. And he was like, how long have you been watching soccer? And I was like, since Friday. And he was like, what? And I was like, I haven't seen a game in my entire life. And he was like, what the fuck? Like, this is crazy. Like, how did you learn all of this just over the weekend? And I was like, I don't know. I just picked stuff up. But it was a cool moment because I sometimes surprise myself with how quickly I can learn things when I care, like when I give a shit. And it's funny because there's some things I'm unwilling to learn and I'm belligerently ignorant on, like anything electrical, right? And then there's other stuff where it's like just in my free time, I happen to pick up knowledge and then I just retain it. But that was fun. So the World Cup was fun to watch. I fixed my bike.
Oh yeah.
I got a garage in my apartment complex. And so now I have a place to keep my bike. And so I fixed it the other weekend. I fixed Grace's too. So now we have 2 bikes in the garage.
Nice.
And I was supposed to go on a ride yesterday with Joel, but we got rained out. So I have to delay it. But it's okay because the Camaro was broken down anyway. The Camaro still has cooling issues. And so sometimes when I'm done driving, I will prime the water pump while the car is off. And I'll like do my radar detector and I'll put the sunshade up. And then I get out of the car and then I lock my keys in my car in the ignition with the water pump on. And that happened the other day. And so the battery died. I borrowed the battery jumper from you. That didn't work because the battery was bad. So like the Camaro was dead for a little while. And the bike won't fit in the Lexus. And so it can only fit in the Camaro. And the Camaro wasn't running. So Joel was going to pick me up and we wound up getting rained out anyway. But in any case, the bike is fixed, which is cool. I found you can bike St. John Heritage Parkway all the way down here has a sidewalk. And so I can go on, like I can do like a 20-mile round trip bike ride from my apartment. So I don't have to drive my bike to Trop Trail like I would have to do when I lived in Rockledge. So that is nice, yeah. Especially because I can fit the bike in the Camaro, but it like scratches shit, like you're gonna end up scratching the paint a little bit. Not that the paint is in immaculate condition. You got to fold the seat down. Like it's just kind of a pain in the ass. It's easier if I can just hop out and ride. And I have been having a harder time getting into the gym lately because I leave work, I'm in pants and I'm sweaty and I'm uncomfortable and the Camaro can't sit still in traffic. I have to turn it off in traffic or it's going to overheat. And the exhaust is broken and the Crunch parking lot is all fucked up and I don't want to like drag the exhaust across like scraped pavement. So I just haven't been going to the gym. It's like too much of an inconvenience and I'd rather just go home and do real estate work.
Sure.
Which sucks because I want to work out. And so this week I took my bike out like every day this week,
Nice.
which was awesome. Eventually I will fix the Camaro and I'll go back into the gym because I don't have any muscle anymore, which sucks. But at least I'm
You
getting
got some.
not much. At least I can get some activity in by going on a bike.
Sure.
And who knows when the Camaro will actually get fixed. And even when it gets fixed, it'll probably fucking break again. So at least the bike works. That's that. Speaking of the Camaro not working, my other car needed new brakes, the Lexus. It didn't really need new brakes, but when we did the oil change, we popped the wheels off and we took a look at them. I had been having really bad rotor warp, so I was having terrible vibration under heavy braking. It wasn't safe, and I
Yeah.
brake heavy all the time. And so I got new OEM pads and rotors for the back, and then I got upgraded EBC pads and rotors for the front.
Yeah.
I got slotted to help with even pad wear, not drilled because of rotor integrity, so I don't want any
Yeah.
cracks. I will say the slotted and drilled rotors on the Camaro have not had any cracking, any fading, any issues at all. They're fucking fantastic, and I love
That's
them.
good.
I really wanted R1 concepts on the Lexus, but they don't make brakes for the Lexus. So, well, they do, but they're drilled and slotted. And maybe if I have more problems with these brakes, then maybe I'll reconsider it and I'll just go with drilled and slotted in the future because I haven't had any issues with the R1s on the Camaro. But I also drive the Camaro pretty hard, and notably in the Camaro, I let my foot off the brake at stoplights. And so the pads cool off.
They don't heat soak in one spot.
Right. And so I put the new pads and brakes on the Lexus, and the break-in procedure for EBC is you drive the car normally for like 500 miles, and then you do their bedding procedure. And so I put 500 miles on the car in one day. I did the bedding procedure that night. They feel pretty good. And so
You're happy with them? No problem?
so far they're good. So far they're good. They perform well. I haven't really pushed them like 100%. Like I haven't done like really crazy stopping since I did the bedding.
Sure.
In the bedding, I actually locked them up a little bit.
Okay.
So I overloaded the. You have to do like 10 medium stops and then like 6 really hard stops. And on the first 2 of the really hard stops, I actually locked the fronts a little bit. And so I like eased off like 2% from then on for the next 4, and it was fine. But since then, I haven't had to push them that hard, and so I just haven't. I've also been cognizant of if I'm doing heavy braking on like an exit ramp and then I sit at a stoplight, I put it in neutral and get my foot off the brake.
Yeah.
And if I roll, then I just very lightly keep my foot on the brake. And then after a couple of seconds, I'll let it roll to get the pad to the other half of the rotor. And then I keep my foot on the brake there very lightly.
Yeah.
So I have been driving more cognizant. I realized that Grace doesn't ever slam on the brakes. It's not how she drives. So like if there's heating issues, it's probably me. And the car has an auto brake hold feature that I use.
Yeah.
And so I have started using that auto brake hold feature if I'm in traffic and it's like I'm not heating the brakes up. But if I do heavy braking, then I'm cognizant and I'm doing the neutral thing.
Yeah. I'd be mindful of the neutral thing. But it is a good trick. Like if you want to use it here and there, although you will wear the transmission more, which is a more expensive replacement component than rotors.
It is. And I think that I just want to continue doing it if I'm doing like really heavy braking
Sure.
into like an exit ramp. Just for
You
a
can
little
also
while.
do that creep, like leave 5 feet or so, and then just like creep a little bit, creep a little bit, creep a little bit.
If the light it has been red for a while and I've seen it red as I come up and I know it's going to turn green quickly, I won't put it in neutral. I'll do the creep. But if it's like if I'm the first one there as it turns yellow and I have to sit at a whole red light, I might put it in neutral.
Sure. Yeah.
But also I want to get the brakes bedded the right way. And once I have like a couple thousand miles on them and I'm happy with how they've bedded in, then maybe I'll be less cognizant about putting it into the neutral and I think it'll be okay. I don't know how the last owner bedded in the brakes or if they did it all. I don't know if they're
Probably not.
I don't know if they're original. I don't know if they were careful when they bedded them in or what. So like, and the wheels were over torqued. So like the last brakes may have had warping because they weren't bedded in initially correctly and then I abused them.
Yeah.
And so I want to give these brakes the best chances possible by being careful with them for the first couple thousand miles. And then I can maybe like loosen up a little bit.
Yeah.
But so far they perform really well. They've got great cold bite.
Cool.
And they perform great. I haven't any issues with them.
Nice. That's
so
good to hear.
Yeah, I'm happy. Lexus is in good shape. As it should be, as it needs to be. My last 2 updates. Number 1, I learned about flock cameras this week. Are you familiar?
Yeah, I watched the Tucker Carlson on him.
I haven't seen the Tucker thing. I saw Tommy G do a journalism thing.
Tucker has a great podcast about a sheriff. I forgot the state that he was in, but it was a
Dawson's
sheriff.
X.
No.
Oh, okay.
He was required to use the flock cameras, and he was very outspoken about his issues with them. And he talks about the implementation and the capabilities and where they're going and how he's fighting it. It's very interesting.
I would like to listen to that.
Yeah, it's great. It's on Tucker. Like, it's the third video if you scroll a little bit.
I will look.
It's right there.
I'm interested. Adam told me the other day that Palm Bay bought 40 of them, and it cost them like $100,000 to buy them, and then like $130,000 a year to continue to use them, and they want to buy more of them.
Yeah.
Which I am vehemently against. So I've started learning about them a little bit, and it's interesting.
Yeah.
So I'll probably go off on a different episode, but
Big Brother is watching.
yeah, I can see an argument for it, but I have a stronger argument against it.
I have a much stronger argument against
Me
it.
too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
My last update is Northrop related and money related. So I don't know if I told you in the last episode that my boss is leaving, but
Yes, I remember this.
Yeah.
And the new girl.
and the new girl is leaving. So
Yeah.
the issue here is that my program has like 15 different like subtasks, right?
Yeah.
My team of systems engineers, like we're all systems engineers, and we assign like a couple engineers to each of those like 15 tasks, right?
Yeah.
We'll call mine task A, let's just
Sure.
say, for sake of it, right? I have been the only systems engineer on task A for the past 4 years. And through those 4 years, they gave me a level 4 engineer to help me out. He ended up leaving after 6 months, was no help. They gave me a level 5 engineer to help. He was no help at all. He ended up leaving. Like he charged my charge number and didn't do shit. Like we got to the program review, the system review, and my only feedback was one slide was terrible and I just had to get rid of the slide. It was the one slide the level 5 engineer gave to me. This dude was making like $180K a year. And so
That's insane.
terrible, right? So my boss has been kind of helping me out here and there because I'm the only guy on task A. And so when they hired this level 4 girl to come help me, she's been fucking fantastic. She's not new to the program. She's worked on this specific thing before, so she's familiar with everything. She's been really great. And so she came in to be like my lead.
Sure.
And I was relieved because we're going into a new contract, which is much larger, right? And I'm the cost account manager for it. So
Yeah.
I have to manage a lot of money amongst a lot of people. And she has been helping me get the integrated master schedule figured out. And life is good. She's been super helpful, right? So between her and my boss, life is good. We're set up for success. My boss decides he's leaving my team. He's going to go to a different building or upstairs, and he's going to work on a different team in Northrop. Just because he's sick of being in systems, he wants to go back to where he came from. Like, okay, bummer. I like my boss. But me and this girl like have things covered. No big deal, right? The next day, she comes in and she was like, my boyfriend got a job in another state. I have to leave. I have to leave Northrop Grumman. And I was like, okay. And so like that was at the beginning of July, right? And so like at least I have a month to like get everything like put together, right? And like as the month has progressed, they're both taking vacation time because like they're coming to the end of their chapter on, you know, my systems team. And the girl is doing a really awesome job like preparing all the resources she has at her disposal to give to me. But when they leave, there will not be another systems engineer familiar with my task.
Wow.
I will be the only one. I will be the only one, and I will be the only cam. And I have not heard of anyone hiring someone to come in and help me.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, I was on a program-wide cam call. It was like an all hands for cams because we're doing like a risk review or whatever. I don't fucking know. And so it was me and 137 other cams. Most of the cams, level 3 managers, level 1 directors, level 5 engineers. There were a sprinkling of level 3 engineers. I was the only level 2 engineer in the call.
Wow.
Recently, my task A had a review, and the way that they like kind of grade cams is like if you predicted you would spend this much hours and this many hours and this much money, how close are you to actually hitting that? So the best you can do is 100%, right? Our average across the whole task, and there's like a bunch of engineers on this task, right? There's maybe like 25 different like cams doing stuff, right? Our average was 67%.
Okay.
There were people as bad as negative 400%.
Oh, geez.
I was the second best
Wow.
in my first month actually doing this solo as a cam. And
Wow.
so my functional manager, who like helps me get promotions and stuff, was also on vacation this past week. But as we're coming up on my boss and my level 4 engineer that's been helping me leaving, I'm realizing that the workload in front of me is monumental. Like
Yeah.
we are bidding hours for multiple engineers to be working on this, and I'm the only one. And whoever they hire, it does not matter where they hire them from. I'm going to have to lead the way and like get them caught up to speed on
Yeah.
shit, right?
Right.
And even if I do all that, I'm still the cam for this giant task.
Yeah.
So when my boss gets back, I'm going to sit him down. He knows that I want a promotion because I do want to buy an LC. He knows that my car is shit. He knows that I want a new car. I've expressed this before.
Yeah.
But I'm going to sit him down and I'm going to say, listen, this is the last week with the only other 2 people who know what's going on. I want to be clear with you. Like I need a promotion, not from like a vanity perspective or like a personal, like, ambition standpoint, but just factually, these people leave in 1 week and I have so much work to do that even if I fall short of everything I have to do, I'm operating at a level 4 engineer standpoint. So like I need an out of cycle promotion, or I need like a deadline of like September 1st is when the promos are given out. And if I don't get a promotion, then I have to go get another offer from another company because I can't do this.
Yeah.
And so I'm at the point now where I'm realizing, oh, like everyone else is leaving and like I'm the only one who knows what's going on. So when my functional gets back, I'm going to schedule a meeting with him to be like, listen, I need a path to a promotion and it's got to happen pretty quick because I will not do this level of work on my own.
Yeah.
That's my life update.
Cool.
What is your business update this week?
So for business this week, shop space is pretty much complete. I even got the AC guy came and got one of the 2 ACs working.
Hell yeah, dude.
So
Did he
there's
do a good
actually
job?
Air conditioning. Yeah, he did. He did
Okay.
a decent job.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, we know how contractors have been lately, so I thought it
Yeah.
would be best to
It was
specify.
decent. It was decent. It blows cold.
Better than the car, right? Or my car, I guess. Your car blows cold.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Can I interrupt you? I'm sorry. My boss, the one who's leaving, he messaged me the other week, and he has an old Honda Civic, and he was like, "Hey, my AC compressor isn't working. What do you think it'll cost to fix it?" And I was like, "Well, it's not actually that difficult to do in that car. You can do it from the top. It's not a big issue. You just take a belt off, take the alternator out, you get to the compressor. But if like the compressor is going to be expensive, right? No compressors are cheap." And he was like, "Well, I on this like rinky-dink Alibaba Chinese site, it says I can get a rebuilt compressor for $75." And I was like, how about I talk to my friend who can get them wholesale and see if I can get you an OEM one for like
I won't be able to get $75.
probably triple the price of the $75 one, but half the price of one from the dealer. And he was like, I don't know, I might risk it. And I was like, okay, pal, just
Go
so
for
you
it.
know, boss, I've had the same issue in the Camaro. I just roll the windows down. The window regulators are failing, so eventually I'll have to get a new AC compressor. But okay, bud. Anyways, continue.
Yeah. Bad idea.
Yep.
But the other AC will be complete Wednesday.
Cool.
So one of them.
How has the first one been performing? Like, is it cool in there? Is it helping?
So what I did is I set it pretty much to its lowest setting, and I'm having it run continuously
Okay.
because I want to see what the electric bill looks like
Mhm.
per day.
Mhm.
I did that yesterday for a full day. It was relatively hot outside yesterday, and I ran it continuously. It was about $9
For one
when
day.
I was working with in there and running the air conditioning all day for
Okay.
a 24-hour period. So that's a little bit high for me,
Mhm.
because it's going to pan out to be about $300 a month, which is just more than I want to pay in electric for hot months.
You could just run it during, I mean, think about it this way. When you're at work, you're not at the shop.
Yeah.
So you don't need it running. So you could probably program it to run like an hour before you get to the shop every day and then just
Yeah.
run it for a little while to cool it down.
The problem is that I don't know. I read the manual and there wasn't a clear way to program it like that by time. So what I'm thinking I'll do is set the temperature relatively high when I leave, so that at least it keeps it relatively bearable.
Yeah.
And then just drop it down when I get there.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see what the cost would look like. Because that's also $300 a month with just one running continuously. Once
Yeah.
there's 2 running continuously,
Right.
it will be $600 a month.
Yeah.
But it will be very cold in there.
That's
Right,
true.
I don't need it that cold.
It's also the hottest month of the year right now, so
Yeah.
they have to work the hardest. So hopefully the electric bill gets better from here on.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and it
Yeah.
should.
Yeah.
At home, I see a reduction in about 40%.
Yeah.
Between the winter and summer. So
I also think
that'll be the case. But
Yeah.
I'm just running a test right now to see for a couple days to see what the bill looks like.
Also, I'm
yeah.
sorry to interject again. I'm doing it a lot. If it's really hot outside and it's like hot inside, it's like 90 degrees inside. Turning one of them on and asking it to get it down to 90 is going to work overtime to try to get the temperature down. But once it's at a lower temperature, I don't think it'll have to work as hard to kind of keep it there.
Yeah.
So maybe day 2 won't be as bad.
Right. Well, right now I set it to 68 and it can't get it down to 68.
In the whole shop?
Correct. Because it's just one unit running.
Right. Sure,
Yeah.
Sure.
So what I anticipate I'll continue running the test, see how it does on day 2, right? What I'll end up doing is setting the temperature probably to like 84, 82 when I'm gone, and then down to like 78, 76 when I'm there.
Does it operate based on like wait till the temperature reads 80, then kick on to keep it below 80, or does it spit out 80-degree air?
No, it'll run cold.
To try to
it just
maintain
runs
80?
cold.
Okay, got it.
And it would try to get down to 80 or whatever.
Does it have a heat function?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
got it. So in the wintertime, if it's freezing, you can kind of heat it up a little bit.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So it'll do both. But I'm gonna kind of play around and see what the bills look like in different setups. The lift, last we left after I was done with the lift was leaking from one of the lines on the post.
That's right.
And so I ended up, after our podcast, I ended up calling the guy and kind of ran through a little bit of what I experienced. You know, it was a hack job install. They left a mess. The bolts were loose. The cabling wasn't done very well. There's a bunch of hack stuff that I went through on the last podcast. And I told him, I was like, and I was looking at the floor with hydraulic fluid pissed all over the floor once again. And I really wondered what the fuck I paid for. And it was dead silent on the phone for 5 seconds.
Good.
And
Uncomfortable
then I
silence.
said, but honestly, what did I pay for?
Yeah.
What did I pay for? The lift was already set up. You just had to drill holes and some of the stuff. And I didn't complain about the pricing, even though it was more than I anticipated. And so I was like, I would like a resolution to this. I don't like leaving bad reviews, but I'd like either some money back or potentially a free hose, because you said that it was worn out at the top. So that replaced. They ended up giving me $300 back, replacing my hose as well.
Good.
Doing a clean job. And I very much appreciate that.
Good. So 300 back gets you to 900 total, which is still 200 above what they quoted you.
Yeah,
Right.
150 above, yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, because they
Quoted
quoted
you 750. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Okay.
So
Step in the right direction.
but
Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
You don't want to
feel like
stick me
that's
on the
fair.
Google reviews.
No, I'm good.
Calling off the dogs. All right.
But it's set up, a new hose in there, it doesn't leak. I'm happy with that. And I feel like overall with the new hose, the price is definitely fair.
Okay.
And so I feel good about it. I feel as though it's at least right. So very happy about that. But well, not very happy. I'm pleased that the fiasco is over, at least from what I can see.
You ended on a high note.
Yes,
Right.
which leveled out the incredibly low note.
Right.
But outside of that, you know, obviously I was in Tennessee a little bit, but on the green car, I did make a good amount of progress. Got the rest of the braking system off of that car, got the exhaust removed. Then after that, dropped the motor out of the car, started cleaning the parts on it. And then once the motor was dropped, I also took off like distributor and coil and fan shroud, fan, heat shields, all that extra jazz and stuff. Took that all apart, laid it all out, and get it ready for cleaning, and then repainting the shields and stuff like that, make it look nice.
Yeah.
But
Are you just spray painting or?
yeah, I'm just gonna rattle can it.
Cool.
And so got that all out.
Oh, can you use your sandblasting cabinet to get it all cleaned
Yeah,
up?
for a
Sweet.
a portion of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. And so I got the motor dropped out, all clean, starting to clean all that stuff up. And then I've started taking apart the front suspension right now. I'm about halfway done taking apart the front suspension, and I'll take the rear suspension apart next. The reason I did the front first and then the rear is because I have all the weight out of the rear of the car. Right. And so I don't want to take apart more stuff off the rear of the car and then have the nose fall off the front of the lift.
Yep.
So I'm taking apart the front suspension, get that weight off of the front a little bit, and then take apart the rear suspension.
Yeah.
So I also texted one of the restoration specialists at the AMCM, asking him if he'd be willing to come by and kind of give me an assessment or a path forward of what he thinks would be best to get this car back on the road, but also not spend the next 3 years on it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the green car is at.
Yeah, my dad, I think, is in the sticky situation of having the, like, everything I touch turns to gold mentality, and, like, I should restore everything to factory spec. So, like,
Yeah.
85% of his time is researching what factory spec is, 10% of his time is, like, acquiring the components, and then 5% of his time is actually fixing it. And
Yeah.
so it's taken a long time to get the Jag, like, ready to go.
Yeah.
Who knows if it'll ever happen? I might be the one to get that car running after my dad dies, who knows? But he
Hopefully not.
I hope not, but he is taking a long time to restore it, and driving the car, I think, is a huge motivator for any auto enthusiast,
Mhm.
and so I think I would prioritize, like, getting the car, like, decently roadworthy, not a safety hazard, but not perfect, you
Yeah.
know? And I think that's probably what the Porsche guy will tell you, the restoration guy will tell you.
Yeah, that's what everyone's pretty much Mike has said, Mike's son has said, you have
Yeah.
said as well. Um,
Well, and I think you agree, right?
I relatively
Yeah.
to some extent. I have to figure out where to draw that line though,
Right.
because it's like, I wanna look at parts as I take them apart and
Mhm.
stuff like that, and kind of make an assessment from there.
Yeah.
Because I also do have the orange car, which is a lot cleaner, and I think that one could be done like very, very nice.
Mhm.
This one could be a little bit more of a driver. I just have to figure out kind of where that line is for me and kind of what I want to come of it.
Right.
But I do have work to do while I think about it in
Right.
terms of cleaning and fixing the obvious.
You have to assess what needs to be replaced first anyway. Like, you might have
Yeah.
a plan of, like, "I'm just gonna put a new motor in it, and then I'm done." But, like,
Yeah.
you take apart the suspension, and you're like, "These shocks are fucked," and,
Yeah.
like, then you wanna replace
Right.
those. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But on another good note, Autobahn gave me a spare lift pole that they have, which is
What's a
cool.
lift bowl?
It's a big pole, and then it just has like a rotating piece that will lift up the top
Oh,
portion.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
So
that.
it's a yeah. So
Yeah.
they gave me one. They had a spare. They gave that to me.
Cool.
And funny enough, I got the lost magazine back.
Really?
The eBay one.
They
that was
they
lost
returned it?
forever. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
So I got that magazine
Cool.
back. The outside box was destroyed. The magazine was okay.
Right.
It was wrecked. So I put it
Damn.
in a new box
Mhm.
and I shipped it out to the guy. Should be there
Cool.
by Monday or Tuesday.
Cool.
Um,
I wish you had a business that he could leave a good Google review for, because that's a good
you
thing.
leave an eBay review.
That's
pretty good.
true, he could do that. Yeah.
Um,
That's a good thing to do, because then he wound up with 2 magazines, right?
yeah, free one and the one he originally bought.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
got him a free one too.
Yeah,
Um,
good job.
thanks.
No, it's
So,
serious.
yeah, I was happy with that. I still need to list more items. That's something that I actively want to do, but I've gotten very passionate about fixing the green car. And so, I've worked relatively hard to strip everything and get the motor out and
Mhm.
all that jazz and stuff. And I'm also trying to get Mike's 914 going,
Mhm.
as well as the Miata stuff was quite
What's
time-consuming.
what's left in the storage unit? Is it the chassis and the doors?
The chassis and the body panels. Yeah.
You know, even if you sell off stuff, it'll be mostly stuff in the loft, right?
No, none of the stuff in the loft is getting sold. That all lives on my back porch and in my garage right now. All this to be sold.
So the to be sold stuff isn't really costing you money right now.
No,
Or
but it could
space.
make me money.
It could make you money. So, like, if you're short on money, obviously you wanna get it sold, but, like, what my thinking is, I think the most money that you could get back per month is on getting rid of that storage unit,
Yeah.
right? And so my thinking is, you got the storage unit beachside because it was easy to get to from home, but if
Right.
you don't have to visit it that often for the chassis and doors, and
Wanna
you
get
also
a cheap one.
and you don't wanna sell the chassis and doors either, I wonder if you could get one that's cheaper, maybe, like, $120 a month,
Yeah.
the mainland, right? And, like, yeah, it would be a pain in the ass to move all this stuff again, but it would save you a lot of money per month,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's very true.
Mhm.
There are some options. Mike said that he doesn't have any shallow bays available, the low bays.
Mhm.
I want to double check and make sure he doesn't have any available because I would love to
Give
because
you
he's
his
actually affordably priced on those.
Right.
I think he's about $250 a month.
Well, and he's a good
$300
landlord
maybe.
too, right?
Yeah.
He's good to work with. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's good people, as they say.
So yeah. So that would be really nice. But yeah,
Mhm.
getting rid of that storage unit would be a big plus.
Do you know what he charges for that, for the low bays?
250 or 300.
How big are they? Could you fit all your stuff in there?
Um, I could. It depends. No, so I could probably fit if I was really strategic, I think I could fit 2 chassis in one with the body panels, and then the orange car would live in my personal garage.
Got it. Oh, the orange car is still at the storage.
Because I put my Miata in the garage
Interesting.
for now.
Interesting. Man, it's $300 a month for one of the low bays.
250 or 300, yeah.
800 for the big bay you have.
Publicly disclosed amount, yes.
Okay. I feel like it's a way better deal to get the big one. You get so much more space.
It is, but he doesn't have a big one available for sure.
But he has more big ones than small ones, though, right?
Overall, yes, but everything's occupied.
Right, but it's more likely that a big one might become available.
Potentially, yeah.
More on that in my lessons learned. Continue.
But so I got through that stuff. Yeah, eBay stuff. Yeah. So need to list more items. Long story short.
Cool.
And that's pretty much all I got. There's a lot of car work. A lot of it I kind of wrapped into the life update this time around instead of doing it as business oriented. But yeah, that's about it.
Cool.
That's all I got.
I mean, you did spend a lot of time out of state, and a lot of the time
And a lot of time on the Miata. The Miata was like 5 days because of all the hurdles.
And the
Which
Lexus.
fucking shouldn't have been 5 days. That car should have been in like 2. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's true. But it was necessary. And it took a lot of time to do, right? So, and even still getting the motor out of the 914 is good
that's good
update.
progress.
On top of doing all that and Mike's stuff, right? And Mike's son's stuff. That's good.
So, I guess one more update oriented thing. Sammy and I had a fun date yesterday. We got together with a bunch of friends for a couple hours, and we did where you paint on a mini canvas and then pass it around in a circle. And everyone paints like a different picture on your canvas or whatever. Okay. We did that. It was fun.
Cool. That sounds like fun.
10 out of 10. Recommend.
I owe Grace a date. We have an agreement. I need a component of work done for me because I refuse to do it. And so she's going to do it for me. And in exchange, I'm going to plan a date, and it'll be fun.
That's a good deal.
It is a good deal, especially when I tell you what the thing is. I'm going to tell you off air, but it's a component of work that's dragged to me, and I don't want to do it. And she's happy to do it. So it's a cool trade.
Nice. Yeah. There you go. Well, that's what I got for business this week. Cool. What do you have for business?
So my business update this week, I'm going to kind of condense it. A lot happened, but it's like repetitive stuff. So I'll start off with my client. This is the client that wants a tiny home. I think that he is struggling to determine exactly what he wants. Sometimes you get clients like this. They have a hard time visualizing what things would be like when they look online. They have to be there in person to feel it.
Yeah.
So we've seen a lot of places, and none of them have felt right. Previously, we had looked at vacant land where you would have to clear it and then build a tiny home there. He's not familiar with the area because he's new to Brevard, so he kind of doesn't know. We went and saw something in Cocoa, a tiny home in Cocoa, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't know that this was so far north in Brevard," because he's staying down in Vero. And I was like, "Yeah, Cocoa is on the northern half of Brevard." He was like, "Oh, I didn't know that. It's a big deal." And I was like, "Well, okay. This is new information for me. We wouldn't have even looked at this home if I had known that."
Yeah.
But he has been sending me and Grace listings, and the listings all have issues. He'll send us something and we'll be like, "This is in Fort Lauderdale. Would you like to live in Fort Lauderdale?" And he goes, "No, I want to live in Brevard." Okay. He'll send us another listing and we'll go, "Okay, the HOA for this one is like $700 a month. Are you okay with that?" And then he'll go, "It's too much for how much the condo's listed for." I'm like, "Okay." So Grace has been working to try to find options for him.
$700 a month for an HOA.
Oh, dude.
That's insane.
It is so much worse. So Grace found a couple options for him. Last weekend, we went to Rockledge in Orlando.
Okay.
The one in Rockledge is actually near McClarty Park, where I grew up playing t-ball when I was younger.
Nice.
It's like an okay area. It's not really where he wants to be. The association isn't as nice as he wants it to be.
Sure.
And even though the unit was recently renovated, the condo wasn't what he wants. Okay, cool. No worries. We then drove out to Orlando, where we looked at condos in the 20th floor in downtown Orlando. Some of them were really nice. Some of the condos were really nice. For $700 a month, you get a really nice gym. There's a big pool and fitness center on the 15th floor. So you get a pretty nice view, right? Seemed right up his alley. He enjoyed everything. Your walking distance from stuff. This was in the Lake Eola area in Orlando. So you can walk to Publix. And all of that was nice. 2 of the units weren't ideal for him. One had stairs. He doesn't want a place with stairs. He's going to probably grow old in the place that he gets, so he doesn't want stairs. and the other one had a big balcony, like the whole square footage of the unit you had as a balcony. And he was like, "This is awesome. I would be happy living here. Like, let's just do a double check of the documents and make sure everything's okay." They don't allow you to put anything on the balcony. The balcony is like the size of this room. You can't put
Can't
anything
put
out
chairs on it?
No, because they could blow away over the railing onto people. You can't put carpet out there, like a rug. You can't get a grill out there. You can't do a canopy. You can't get an umbrella. You can't do potted plants. You can't put shit out there. Now, I can see into other people's
What?
balconies. They have stuff out there. So they're probably pretty loose on the rules, right? But like if they want to crack down, they can. And so he was like, "This is not the place for me. If I can't use the balcony, then what the fuck is the point of having a balcony?" And I completely agree with him, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's insane.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And so he
That's like
decided
having a yard and saying you're not allowed to walk on it.
exactly. It's insane. And so we decided to not go with that one. And honestly, like I fucking hate the Orlando area. And this is Grace's family member. And so Grace is going to want to spend time with this family member, meaning that we would have to drive out to Orlando to see this person. And I fucking loathed Orlando. I did a great job keeping it together while we were driving around looking at places in Orlando. But when we got home, I just vented to Grace for 45 minutes because I fucking hate it out there. Like, there are zero redeemable qualities for Orlando, in my opinion. Even the good food places are like just fine. Go to Winter Park. They've got better food.
I'll tell you, going on our way home. Oh, I didn't mention this, but
Yeah.
going home from Tennessee,
Uh-huh.
going up there by driving route, it's 10 hours, 9.5. It took us about, we stayed overnight on our way there because we left after work on Wednesday and then we drove Thursday. It probably took us total around 14 hours, but because we stopped for whitewater rafting.
Right.
On the way home, we left at 9 in the morning. We stopped for an hour and a half to do the Lost Sea, about 2 hours.
Okay.
2 hours. We got home at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Orlando?
No.
Oh.
But the reason I thought of it was coming back into Florida and going through Orlando after Tennessee was a shocking and sad experience.
It's terrible.
Terrible.
It's terrible.
But
I-4?
Nope. Horrible.
Tell me.
But no, the reason being is Atlanta had 3 different accidents through it, major accidents.
You went through Atlanta?
Yeah. It said it was the fastest route. It was horrible.
It is the fastest route, even with accidents. That's the unfortunate part, because going around Atlanta
It
always
adds like
takes
an hour and a
forever.
half.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But dude, stop and go into manual. Fucking
it was horrible. And then to really put the cherry on top, the main route that we used had major road work in 2 different areas where it's a 4-lane highway, 3 lanes were closed.
Oh my God, dude.
So single lane, 25 mile an hour, all converging for miles.
That's terrible. Dude.
Miles.
That's terrible.
Like not just like, oh, a mile or 2, like 10 miles, 2 different sections like
That's
that.
terrible.
With all the traffic.
You know, my buddy lived in Orlando, or I'm sorry, he lived in Atlanta. We met each other in Florida. His family moved to Atlanta, so I went to visit him.
Yeah.
He lived on the northeast side of Atlanta, and there's a racetrack on the southwest side of Atlanta. Yep. And so I drove up. I stayed with him in northeast Atlanta, and one day it was like 2 p.m. He was like, "There's drag racing at this racetrack, southwest Atlanta. We should go." And I was like, "Okay, cool, sounds good." And he was like, "Cool, get your shoes on." And I was like, "It's 2 p.m., dog. Drag racing starts at 6. We have 4 hours." He was like, "That's how long it takes us to get there." And I was like, "What? Across the city?" And he said, "Yeah, it took us 4.5 hours to get there. We got half an hour. We got there half an hour late. The drive home took 45 minutes because it was in the middle of the night and there wasn't like terrible traffic." But my God, Atlanta's terrible. Orlando's just as bad. Like the IQ. The intellectual equivalents of the people who drive in Orlando live in fish tanks. Like, these people drive like fucking morons, and it drives me insane. Some of the condos had parking garages where it's like a fucking like 1 lane up and down parking garage. Oh my God, it was a nightmare. Like, there was no free parking anywhere. Like, everyone drives like a dipshit. There's homeless people crawling around. I just hated the experience. I hated it. And so, of course, like I'm not going to steer a client one way or the other, right?
Sure.
But I will vent to Grace when we get home. So I complained when I got home, and she was like, "He's going to live where he wants to live. Shut up." And I was like, "I know." And like, if he decides to live in Orlando and you visit him in Orlando, that's fine. I would like to be the one to drive the car when we go there. And she was like, "Whatever." So we continued to look for condos, couldn't find anything. We found one more in in Orlando. It was in the more like suburban Orlando, so it wasn't like super dense traffic. We got there. The unit was really cool. It is currently owned by like, it must be a bachelor, like some dude. He's got really nice plants everywhere. Beautiful, beautiful unit. But the washer and dryer was like a communal washer dryer on that floor. So there's 8 units on that floor, and you all share one washer dryer. And the guy was like, I'm not really stoked about that. And I was like, that's okay. Like, let's go look at the amenities. They've got like an indoor parking garage. The indoor parking garage is underground, which is peculiar for Florida. Peculiar choice.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a red flag.
Their gym is the size of this room, also underground, accessible via the parking garage, with no windows and no AC. They had ceiling fans. Their HOA was $850 a month.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so, needless to say, he was like, fuck this place. I'm not interested.
That's insane.
Yeah. So we
That's
drove.
another rent.
Yeah. So we drove around like other areas. We went to Brickell or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called in Orlando. I think it's Brickell. Anyway, we drove around, walked around the Lake Eola area. And ultimately he was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just like not finding places that work for me here. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, okay, I really think that the best option for this guy is somewhere in Vieira. Like walking distance to the avenues, short drive to Whole Foods. Like there's lakes in Vieira, so maybe something with like a waterfront lake view, right? There's a lot of communities in Vieira that have like nice facilities for their residents. So like I'm gonna try to find a place like that. And the way that things are going, I think if we just let this client look for a place, we'll never find one. I think Grace and I have to put in like work to like help them find a place.
Sure.
And so I cast a very wide net. I categorized by in Brevard-ish, because I took some stuff from like the Sebastian, Port St. Lucie area.
Sure.
In Brevard-ish, in the price range, which is like less than like $315,000. And that's it. And I just like, there were like 1,100 listings, and I just went through every single one of them. And I just chowed down through 1,100 listings over the course of like 2 or 3 days.
Damn.
And I got like 170 options, not great options, just options. Like, so like, for example, one of the criteria is they would like a screen room for the cats to be there, right? If I find a place that's perfect in all areas and doesn't have a screened-in cat room, I threw it in the list because it's an option, right?
Yeah.
And of all those options, I sent them to Grace because she knows this client better. Obviously, it's her family member. And I was like, take a look at these 170. I'm positive there are like 20 like knockout perfect ones here. Find those 20 and then send them to him, and let's go look at those. And she was like, okay. And she got to like listing number 4, and she was like, this one's perfect. We should go look at this tomorrow. And I was like, okay. And so it is a condo in Vieira with a screen room balcony for the cats, water view, in a gated community with a manned guard tower, and a fantastic HOA. Like the HOA community center is enormous. It's the biggest one I've ever seen. It's fantastic. It's got a pool, it's got racquetball courts, it's got tennis courts, it's got pickleball courts, it's got standing shuffleboard, it's got a pool room inside, it's got its own bar and grill for the residents to come hang out at. It's fucking phenomenal. $600 a month HOA. Leaps and bounds better than every other.
Still crazy
HOA
for my
seen.
mind, but I'll let it go.
It's still expensive,
Yes.
but you do get a lot for it.
Yeah.
There's a condo association around these parts that has like a really shitty like fitness center that's their HOA. It's like $450 a month.
Okay.
To give you a range, average HOA is like $450, $500 a month, and you don't really get a lot for it.
Much.
It is. But here you get a gym, you get like they have a sauna and shit. Like it's really nice, and it's a gated community, and it's a big area. It's a 55 and plus community, right? So you're not gonna get like shitheads with no exhaust on their Camaros in your community. You're just gonna get nice people. When we pulled up to the gate, we were like, hi, we're here for a showing. And he was like, all due respect, me and Grace, he was like, you guys don't look old enough. And I was like, we're real estate agents. And he was like, I need to see some ID. And I was like, okay, like the fuck? So I showed him my driver's license, and he was like, all right, like, go ahead. But
like it says real estate agent on your driver's license.
Well-guarded community is how I phrased that. But
yeah,
we went and saw the unit. It was fan-fucking-tastic. Like I could not have fabricated a better option if I was God himself and could create one with my hands. This is perfect. We showed it yesterday, right? It's a community that has homes, townhomes, and condos in the community, right? This guy doesn't want like a place that's too big, so we're kind of limited to like townhomes and condos, right?
Sure.
As we were driving around, he was like, this place is great. I wonder if there's anything else available. There's like a couple other condo units. The other ones are kind of shit. There's one other townhome available, but it's like, It's too big for what he wants.
Okay.
And so like the only option available in this community is the place that we saw, and it's fucking perfect. It's in the price range. I think it's fairly priced. It's fucking perfect. So I told Grace, I was like, if he doesn't put an offer in on this place, he might just not be ready to buy. Like, this is it, right? And so like obviously we don't want to pressure him into making an offer or anything like that. But it is the perfect place. And so I told Grace, keep going through the list of 170 because she still has like 150 to go through, just in case he like comes up with an issue with this place. But we need to start steering the conversation toward what making an offer would look like and showing him what our inspector can do and stuff like that. We bumped into our inspector at the bar the other day. His wife makes like sourdough goods, and we bought some sourdough goods from them. And he was like, "How has business been for you guys? It's been fucking slammed for me." And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's the summer, so like it's busy. It always gets slow in the winter." He was like, "Summer's always been dead for me," which I don't mind because I don't want to go out and sweat a ton. But like, it's good to have business, so like it's been really good for me. And I was like, "Awesome. I've been referring people to you even when they're not my clients." And he was like, "I know. I had someone call me a few weeks ago for a new house that they got, and I think I know who it is because she just closed on her house a few weeks ago." But he and I have a good relationship, and it's important to have a good relationship with your inspector because if I need a last second thing done, he will prioritize me over other people. And so that is a good bond that I'm building with him. Yeah. So as we are today, we've seen the perfect place. It exists. It's real. We'll see if he wants to put an offer in on it. I think it's perfect. That's my client update.
Hoping for the best.
Me too. I hope that he puts in an offer. I have an idea for some different like pricing, like negotiation strategies we can do to get him a good deal on it. Honestly, I think it's fairly priced. But I have my ways. So the next update on social media videos. I have decided that one video per day just ain't gonna work. I'm putting too much effort into them. I have found that if I just speak at the camera and I ramble, they're not very concise. They don't follow. They're not engaging. Like they aren't interesting to watch. It's not something that I would watch. So I'm not gonna do just rambling videos. They take a long time to edit and they aren't that great when I'm done with them. I did try it. Not really the content that I want to make, so I'm just nixing it. Instead of doing one video every day, I'm going to do 3 videos a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm going to post them in the afternoon when people are most engaged, and I'm going to write scripts for them. They aren't very long. They're like 1.5 minute, 2-minute videos. The scripts aren't too difficult to write, and I find that if I read it, and then I stand in front of the camera, and I read a line, and then I spit out that line, and then I read a line, and then I spit out that line, I can deliver it really well. I can deliver it in the voice that I wrote it in.
Yeah, and then just cut it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm more comfortable in front of the camera. I'm more comfortable with the voice that I want to use when speaking to people. And I'm getting pretty consistent with it. Editing the videos still takes a little while. I don't think I'm putting in too much effort because I'm very cognizant of like, am I getting too perfectionist with this? But for me to deliver the message that I want to, I have to take breaks between lines and I have to edit those out. And so it takes a little while to edit, but I think I can maintain a Monday, Wednesday, Friday pretty consistently. I've been doing it consistently, so I'm going to keep doing it.
Cool.
I've had people come up to me at the bar and say, "Hey, I saw your video. You popped up on my feed and like I liked it."
Yeah.
One of my videos has like 800 views and like 17 comments, which is a pretty good comment to view ratio. Yeah. So I'm just going to keep at it. And I'll get to the Facebook ads in a second, but something that I want to do is I want to have a really solid base of videos. My quality over quantity approach, I'm taking a quality over quantity approach because I want to direct people to my social media where they can go through and view videos on specific topics and get my opinion on it rather than just steamrolling people with like low quality videos all the time.
Sure.
And so in my Facebook ads, I'm going to have a couple different iterations where I say like, if you've seen my social media accounts, then you already know XYZ. It's kind of triggering people to maybe I should go look at the social media account. That way, even if someone's not ready to buy or sell a house right now, they're not going to fill out the form. Maybe they'll go look at my profiles. So my Google ads, I got 3 leads from the Google local service ads over the past few weeks. 2 of them are people looking for apartment rentals or condo rentals. And then one of them is a vacant land seller. They have raw land that they want to get rid of, right? The 2 rentals, I made options and I sent to them. And one person hasn't responded. And the other person was like, "I like them all. Let's go see them." I sent them 50 options. And I was like, "Why don't you tell me what your favorite ones are? And we'll go look." And I haven't gotten a response. So like kind of low quality leads, but they are real people that do respond. The vacant land guy doesn't speak English really well. So I'm like trying to do my best with getting him help. But I realized from the Google ads, I get charged like 25 bucks a lead. And they are genuine leads. But if I'm paying 25 bucks, I'd really rather have someone who's buying or selling. So I took rentals out of my Google thing. Originally, I had kept rentals in because rentals are a really great way to get Google reviews and get the good word spread.
Sure.
But what I have seen firsthand from the people who I've helped renting is they rarely leave Google reviews and they don't really recommend me to a ton of people because they don't really care. It's helping find an
Yeah.
apartment. And so, of course, if someone comes to me and asks for help personally, I will help them. But if I'm advertising, I'd rather spend advertising dollars on buyers or sellers. And of course, primarily first-time home sellers, like we talked about.
Yeah.
So I changed my Google leads to not include renters, and then I upped my weekly budget to like $550 a week. And so my intention here is I'm going to continually, slowly, gradually increase the spend until I start actually getting real verified buyers and sellers. And then I'll like plateau.
Yeah.
But so far, they mischarged me once, and then they refunded me and applied that credit for the next month.
Oh, nice.
So they've been pretty good about only charging me for legitimate people. So Google is good. For
Cool.
Facebook ads, I have started filming draft content.
Okay.
I'm kind of uncomfortable with some of it, but I've decided I'm gonna edit together like a full ad and a couple different versions of them. And then if I hate it, awesome. I don't have to post it. I can go in and tweak like a couple different things, and then I can go run the full gamut and post everything.
Okay.
And so as a part of that, what I'm learning is where I'm comfortable speaking to the camera in my TikTok videos and like riffing is something that I should include in the Facebook videos. I think something that I've learned is that I feel uncomfortable watching Facebook ads if they feel like an ad, right? And like you can tell when someone's hamming it up and being cheesy and it feels like an ad. And I think that a big indicator for something not being an ad is when they go on like little riffs. Not like full tangents, not like Trump tangents, but like if you throw in a little line here and there. And I can calculate that line ahead of time and then include that in the Facebook ad. So I've spent a lot of time on many different things these past few weeks, but my plan for this week, now that we have this condo situation, I think figured out, whether or not we do an offer, who knows, but like I've looked at 1,100 listings. So like Grace can find something that works there. But this week I'm going to spend more time getting a Facebook ad actually ready to go and put money behind in the campaign.
Sure. Cool.
So that's a little bit of a delay because of this condo thing and a couple other items, but like that's ultimately where I'm at right now. So solid business update. Took a tangent to like help a client, but now I'm back on the Facebook ads train.
Nice.
So what lessons did you learn these several weeks?
Yeah. So my lesson for this week, similar to what I've had in other previous weeks, but I wrote down the work just needs doing, and I wrote down a note that said it was very apparent with or at least what I feel as though the speed at which I executed all of the Miata work, the other odd end work throughout the week, car related, as well as the Porsche stuff. Looking at it in the past, essentially week and a half, because I was gone for 5 days.
Yeah.
I redid the whole brake system on the car. Thank you for helping me bleed it as well. Redid the whole brake system on the Miata. Worked a little bit on your Lexus as well as Mike's son's Corvette, and then managed to get the whole brake system apart, the entire essentially drivetrain system apart and out of the Porsche, and then working to get the entire suspension apart. All whilst, just general life stuff and chores and, running errands and whatever. So I'm relatively happy with that level of progress. I mean, the car is apart and stuff is getting in order. And I think that's just kind of been a factor of, every day that I get off work, I just go and do that. And I focus really hard on it, and then do, 1 couple hour date a week with Sammy. And it works out well. So that was kind of my lesson learned for this week. The work just needs doing. So
Yeah.
That's what I put down.
Cool.
But what do you have for your lesson learned this week?
Man, that was short. Hang on.
Sorry. I'm too quick.
No, you're good.
We're
We're at 21. Do you want to stop? Keep going. So my lesson learned this week is really rough because I don't think I have learned a lesson. I think I am actively learning a lesson, and I don't know what that lesson is. So I'm going to walk you through it. Okay. This all has to do with cars. So I have looked into buying an LC. I'm spending money currently as if I were making LC500 payments, right? Unfortunately, I've been doing really good. I haven't bought energy drinks. I haven't gone out to eat. I haven't spent money on bullshit. I've been doing really good about it. I did have to buy brakes for the Lexus, which was an unseen expense, and it
Yeah.
cost like $1,000, so that was not helpful. It is a 3 paycheck month this month, so like it will account for it in my budgeting. But of course, I'm accounting for an average here, so like
Yeah.
it's gonna look better this month in particular than it would on a regular month because I have 3
Did you
paychecks.
propagate the $1,000 for the Lexus over like 2 years?
What?
Like
No.
propagate that expense over the course of 2 years?
Did I propagate it?
Sorry, did you take that expense and break it out over the course of 2 years
No, I would.
to get like a monthly average? Because you might do brakes every 2 or 3 years.
Oh, I actually think the brakes will last longer because when
Yeah,
we
just as like a bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, I haven't drawn it out because I have an average of like the last 6 months I've spent X amount of dollars on car parts.
Oh, okay.
And so that's what
that
I'm
works too.
accounting for. So like my
Sure.
average is like I think $250 a month or something like
Okay,
that.
yeah.
So this is obviously 4 times that much, but maybe next month I don't have any expenses.
You shouldn't have to do brakes next month. So.
I fucking hope not.
Yeah.
But also, when we took the brakes off the Lexus, they had a lot of life left in them. And I think those are the original brakes. So like that's with 45,000 miles on them and they looked pretty good.
Mhm.
And so if these new brakes last a similar length of time, then hopefully I don't have to do brakes for a long time.
Yeah.
Because I've only owned the car for 25,000
The fronts were
miles.
very warped though.
They were very warped.
Yeah.
Assuming that I drive the car better and the slotted rotors help and they aren't as warped or they don't get warped, then hopefully these last even longer than the first ones did.
Sure.
But in any case, they cost more. So I'm kind of thinking to myself, okay, I would like an LC, but unexpected things like brake rotors are going to come up, and I don't know if I can afford it with like what I'm currently making.
Sure.
I'm not sure. Concurrently, all this Northrop stuff that I gave the update about, or in my life update, it will result in a promotion one way or the other. Like they're either
Yeah.
going to give it to me or I have to force it because like I flat out cannot do this much work. Like I would go get another job somewhere else.
Yeah.
Fucking flat out, right? Any promotion that I get would result in like at least another like $1,100 a month, and that would allow me to afford an LC
Sure.
easily.
Yeah.
So like a promotion means I can afford an LC, no problem, right? And the promotion is imminent. It has to be one way or the other, right?
Yeah.
If I have to go get another offer from somewhere else and force Northrop, or at least try to force Northrop, then I will. I have no choice. So when I'm thinking about like getting a car, I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's a couple different variables here. Number one, I am so sick of the Camaro's issues. I've talked about it before. I
Mhm.
don't want to deal with it anymore. I'd like to park the car and fix it slowly over time so I can actually enjoy it rather than getting frustrated with it every time I have to drive it. Because genuinely, when I wake up in the morning and I have to drive the Camaro that day, I'm in a worse mood than when I have to wake up to drive the Lexus. I will wake up earlier in the morning to drive the Lexus than the days in the Camaro. right?
Sure. Yeah.
Like I snooze my alarm less because I like going places in the ES. And so thinking about it, I'm thinking to myself, okay, from a practical standpoint, I need another reliable car to scale real estate, no matter what. Promotion or no promotion, I need another car because as these ads start to pick up and as I get more people, Grace and I will need to have independent cars that can reliably get us where we need to go, right? So I have to get a new car that's not the Camaro because I need something to be reliable and at least comfortable and presentable. So I need another car. Not this week, but like at some point in the next 6 months, right? So like by the end of 2026, my goal is to have another car. I have a garage now,
Mhm.
which allows to keep maybe the Camaro in there and then the other cars out, or maybe one of the cars in there and the Camaro can just sit in the parking lot as it's done for the past 5 years.
You have the shade too, right?
I do have the shade. It doesn't like fully cover a second car, but it covers maybe half of a car, right?
Okay.
So like I can make it work. But my goal is to get another car, right? And so in thinking about getting another car, I'm like, okay, I can afford another ES right now with no issue. And so maybe the answer is to just like put a hold on an LC, not worry about a promotion. Like it'll come when it comes. I'll probably get one this year. And like I should just get another ES, right?
Yeah.
And so I started looking into it because on the one hand, I do really love my car and I would love another one.
Mhm.
They're the most reliable car ever built. They're the nicest that you can get for the luxury, whatever, right? I would love to have another one. My car comes in different trim packages. There's base, premium, F Sport, which is premium with stiffer suspension. Why would you want that in a luxury car? I don't know. I'm not getting that. And luxury, right? I have the luxury version, heated and cooled seats, whatever,
Yeah.
right? I found out this week there is an ultra luxury version of my car,
Oh.
much less common, but it has a significant number of upgrades, right? You can't really tell I'm gonna have a lot of photos in this segment. You can't really tell from looking at it. There's a wood inlay in the steering wheel, which is nice. There's nicer stitching.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Yeah, and then it's got triple beam headlights instead of just 2 beams,
Okay.
which is a nice upgrade. But the interior looks largely the same, right?
Yeah,
There's a
similar.
larger screen, but I still have my clock. It
Mhm.
looks the same, right? Really, the upgrades come in like accessibility, right? You with the upgrade, these are all things that you get over my car. You get a 360-degree view camera for parking, which
Okay.
is hugely helpful. Grace hit a gutter the other week and scraped up the front bumper, so
Oh no.
it'd be nice to have a 360-degree camera. It comes with the wood inlay, which I like. You can get
Sammy
them.
ran over a curb this weekend. It happens.
These women, man. The ultra luxury version comes with the triple beam headlights. Like I said, you can get the upgraded Mark Levinson sound system, which is the upgrade I want in an LC, which would be nice. You get a kick sensor for the trunk. So if you've got your hands full, you can kick it and it'll open and close. There's a button that you can use to close the trunk as well. It has a power rear sunshade. So you hit a button and a shade pops up in the back window. There's manual shades, like in my parents' cars,
Okay, yeah.
in the back doors. It has a sunroof and a moonroof, which is pretty cool. And it's all automated. So you press a button and the shade opens up, like in my mom's car. What else is there? There's a couple other really cool things. You get the bigger screen, but it's like quality of life features like that.
Sure.
Honestly, it's a lot for like a package. Like you would expect a package to have like a couple upgrades here and there. This has a lot. There's more I can't remember. But I was like, okay, well maybe I could get one of those. And so I started looking into how expensive those are. They are more expensive than the luxury version, significantly. I bought my car for 33. All of the ultra luxuries are listed in the mid 40s, right?
Okay.
So it would be more expensive than my current car. And as I was looking at those, I thought to myself, well, mid 40s, I wonder how far off that is from the Lexus LS, which is their luxury sedan. It's their flagship car. It's the only Lexus model that has been made continuously every year since the beginning of Lexus in the 90s,
Oh, really?
all the way until 2026 when they discontinued it.
Oh, interesting.
Is no 2027 LS because the luxury market is transitioning to prioritize SUVs.
Yeah.
So no more sedans. And I was wondering, I wonder what they go for, right? Because they are very nice cars. So this is the LS, right? This is a 2026. It looks very similar to my car,
Yeah, it does.
but there are interesting upgrades. The spindle grille, I think, looks cooler. Triple beam headlights, obviously. There are different wheels. Interestingly, the wheels have a chamber in them that reduces road noise. It dampens the road noise, which is interesting. It has soft closed doors and stuff like that. It's got a kick sensor, like all the same things that the ultra luxury version of my car has. But the interior is beautiful. I actually think I prefer the ES interior, but like undeniably the interior of this car is very pretty, right?
Yeah, it is.
You can get the executive package, which has this hand carved glass and these folds of fabric in the door. It is truly beautiful, right? The interior of this car is cool. The rear seat reclines completely. There's a screen on the armrest in the back where you can control your car. Imagine sleeping in the back of this for the Rolex, right?
A lot nicer.
A lot of really cool features. All 4 seats are heated and cooled. All 4 seats have massaging features in them. Very cool. It's got a heads-up display. It's got the 360-degree parking camera. There's like 28-way adjustable seats that come with the Mark Levinson sound system, right? These are listed in the low 50s.
Okay.
Unbelievable price. New, these were like 120.
Wow.
They have depreciated significantly. And you can get like a 30,000 mile for like $52,000.
Wow.
And so I started thinking to myself, oh, well, maybe I should get an LS. That'd be pretty cool, right? You know, I'm starting to creep up in the price range there. It is more expensive than an ultra luxury. It's a V6 twin turbo powertrain, so probably a little less reliable, but it is a luxury car. It'd be nice to drive customers around. It has a greeting function where when you walk up to the car, it raises the suspension by an inch. You get in and then it lowers back down again. It's got the soft closed doors, so you like kind of half close them and then they go on their own. Very cool. Now I was like, maybe I could get one of those. And then I thought to myself, well, if I get one of those, they're pretty heavy. I wonder if I could do the tax write-off thing. Because I know that cars over 6,000 pounds, you can write off on your taxes. And so I learned more about it. And the way that that works is for vehicles over 6,000 pounds, you can buy the car, finance or cash purchase, whatever, and then you can write off or depreciate the full value of what you paid for in the first year that you own the car, even if you finance it, which is pretty cool. So if I make $80,000 a year and I buy an $80,000 vehicle, I'm not paying taxes that year, which is pretty cool, right? Now, for cars less than 6,000 pounds, if you use it for business, you can still write it off. You can still depreciate it. They just cap how much you can depreciate year over year, which is why Range Rovers are a big deal and G-Wagons, because they're heavy enough you can write off the whole thing in 1 year, right? But if I were to buy an LS, which is less than 6,000 pounds, I would have to write off, the first year's capped at 20 grand, the second year's capped at like 19, and then like 7 after that.
Okay.
But you can do it for unlimited years. So say I buy an LS for $50,000 and I use it for business half of the time, right? I can only write off $20,000 per that first year if I use it 100% for business. Since I'm not using it 100% for business, I can only write off $10,000 that year, right?
Yeah.
But I can do that forever and eventually depreciate the full value of the car.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. The way that you calculate what percentage you use is by tracking your miles. So if I'm driving from my home office to a showing or all over Orlando for showings, like I did this past weekend, you count those as business miles. If I drive the car from my home office to Northrop for engineering, that doesn't count. And they make apps that help you track the miles. And so I have looked into getting one of those apps to help me track. And you can depreciate the value of the car. You can also write off all of your gas and maintenance. So my $1,000 brakes, if I use the car for business half the time, are only $500 brakes, right? Effectively, 500 of it is tax-free, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
They decrease my taxable income. So not bad, right? Pretty cool. And so I was like, okay, well, if I get an LS, if I afford an LS, then I could write it off on taxes. It is the ultimate drive clients around mobile, right? Which is nice. But honestly, if I bought an ultra luxury or I bought an LS, I have the same issue that I had before, which is I'm going to fall in love with every car I buy. I'll never sell a car again. I feel bad I sold the Firebird. I shouldn't have. I know I'll never sell a car. And so whatever I get, I'm going to be paying off for 7 or 8 years. And that will inevitably delay me buying an LC. Because I'm going to have to make enough money to pay for those 2 cars and then also afford an LC. And I know that that's just not going to happen. And so I'm like, well, maybe I should just wait and not get a second car and like just go for an LC, right? I can stick it out in the Camaro for another 2 months. Real estate isn't going to pick up enough that I need another car in the next 2 months anyway. So like maybe I can get a promotion in the bag and then get an LC, right? So I'm like, I should start tracking LCs. I mentioned this in a previous video, VinWiki, I set up the automated whatever, right? I've still never driven an LC. I've sat in one in my buddies from work. I've never gotten a ride. He like drove me to my desk, but like that was a short ride. I've never gotten to drive one really. And I've never seen the tan interior, which is the interior that I want. And so I was just keeping an eye on all my automated listings, and a car popped up in West Palm Beach on Friday or Thursday. And it is black with a beige interior, and it has the dynamic handling package. And I was like, oh my God, that's like the dream spec. It's a 2020, not a 2023. And I've decided I want a 2023 for a multitude of reasons. Primarily being, I want the touchpad version, not the touchscreen version. And they started the touchscreen in 2024. So 2023 is the last year I can get that has the trackpad, right?
Okay. So
it's the most developed version of the trackpad car. And the trackpad ones are less valuable because people like the touchscreen, so that works out for me, right? It's 2020, not a 2023, okay, no problem. I can go see the car and not worry about wanting to buy it. So Grace and I drive down to West Palm Beach. I call ahead of time. I get a guy on the phone. He's intellectual. He speaks English, which is great. Huge improvement over Mitsubishi of North Miami. He gives me his personal cell phone number, and we text back and forth on there throughout the day. I'm like, hey, I have a showing. I might not be able to get there till later. He was like, dude, no worry. We'll have the car ready for you when you get here. Cool. It's the same guy. So we drive down to West Palm Beach, and I'm curious because I've thought this is a fact-finding mission, right? This is, does the car hold up to my expectations, and can it help me refine what I want in a car? A big issue for me, shopping in my head, is what color I want, because none of the colors really speak to me, right? All I know is I don't want one of the really bright ones. I don't want blue, red, or yellow, right?
Yeah.
But like a white, I could get wrapped. A gray, I think looks good. The cloudburst gray. Black, I like it on my car. The green kind of looks cool, but I don't like it in some lighting. And so like whatever. The dark blue, I really like. And on our drive, actually, I saw an ES in the blue, and it looks too blue in direct sunlight for what I want. I think, at least on an ES, it would look different on an LC. And so I was like, I don't know. Also, when I think about it, the blue with the beige interior, I don't really know if that's a combo that I would like. I kind of would have to see it in person. I'm just not sure.
Yeah.
And so as we pulled up to the dealership, a big thing for me is, does the car have presence, right? Because I want me to like notice it when I walk into a room. And as we pulled into the Bentley dealership where they sell Bentley and Rolls Royces, this thing stuck out like a sore thumb. Like I love the presence that it has. We had to drive past it to get to the parking lot, and I noticed it immediately. And I was like, that is a sharp looking car. I like the black in person, up close in person. I love the black. And so we get up. The guy's wearing a suit. He speaks fluent English. He's composed. He's a gentleman. Everything I would want out of a car salesman. Not pushy, not a dick. And so he's like, here are the keys. Like, get in the car, start it. Do everything you got to do. And I'm like, okay. So I open up the door. The beige is gorgeous. It's better than I could have even predicted. It's the carbon fiber roof. I'm not a big exposed carbon fiber guy, right? It's gorgeous. The roof is gorgeous. The side sills look way better in person than they do in photos. I'm like, oh man, like, dude, the rear wing looks super sick. The beige is gorgeous. Like, I get in this car and I'm like, oh man, my first thought is I don't like the seating position. Fuck, this isn't good. And then I realized they have the seat all the way back for cleaning and the steering wheel all the way tucked up for cleaning. So I fuck with the seat and I get like in the seating position where I need to be. And I was like, oh my God, this feels right. This feels good.
Yeah.
My primary concern was whether the wired Apple CarPlay would work.
Yeah.
Because they only introduced the wireless in 2024.
Okay.
And that's the touchscreen that I don't want. And so I asked him, I'm like, do you mind if I plug in my car charger to see if it works? She was like, absolutely, go for it. I was like, okay, cool. So I plug it in, I get my phone all wired up. I fuck with the mouse pad and I can't get it to work for like the first like 2 minutes. Like I'm like, oh fuck, does wireless CarPlay not work? And so I'm like fucking with it and like I can't get it to work right. And I'm like, shit, like I don't know what's going on with this. And I can't find it in the menu settings and the touchpad is confusing. And then I remember that there's like shortcut buttons above the touchpad. And so I hit the shortcut buttons and I find Apple CarPlay really easily. And I'm like, oh, okay. People don't like the trackpad because the first 10 seconds of using it is confusing. And unless you have watched the 3-hour Lexus tech tutorial video I've seen, you don't know what you're doing. And even I didn't know what I was doing until I got there, right? But once you figure out how to use it, super easy.
Yeah.
The trackpad is not a problem at all. Not a deal breaker for me. Awesome. That means I can get a cheaper car easier and like other people, you know, aren't gonna like it. So I'm playing with the seat cooling settings. I was worried that the Alcantara wouldn't be as breathable as the leather, but it was a hot day. I was in pants and a collared shirt and I was comfortable. The seat cooling worked really well. The Mark Levinson audio system honestly didn't impress me as well as I thought it would.
Okay.
But it's also a coupe, so it's not really designed to be like a super luxurious like LS type of sound system, right? Which then makes me think, well, you know, I would kind of like to see what a regular sound system would sound like, because if it's significantly worse, then the Mark Levinson system is a deal breaker for me, right? He let me start the car. Sounds incredible at idle, starting up. It sounds like, you know, the F-Type when it starts and it sounds like a snarl from like a Jaguar. Reminds me of that. And I was like, oh man, this is cool. It's got a heads-up display, which I'd never seen in real life before. It's interesting. The heads-up display doesn't look like it's projected on the glass. It looks like it's on the rear bumper of the car in front of you. Like it's further. Like you have to adjust your focal vision to further out, which is cool because you can see your speed without taking your eyes off the road at all. Really cool. It's the dynamic handling package, so I know it has rear wheel steering. And I have heard that if you get an LC, you want one with the rear wheel steering because it's a long car. Interestingly, it's the same chassis as the LS.
Okay.
And it's a long car and the rear wheel steering makes a big difference. But I have never driven a rear wheel steering drive car before, and I am concerned about my connection to the road because I've only ever driven cars without it, and I have a really good understanding of where the car is going to be. And it's got variable gear ratio steering and rear wheel steering. So like, am I going to be able to predict where the car is going to go, right? And so I'm not sure if he's going to let me drive it because I'm a 25-year-old and he doesn't know me. But he was like, do you want to take it for a spin? And I was like, absolutely, I do. Cool. Yeah. And so Grace stays behind because the back seats are way too small to fit people. Like it's there for like spirit. Yeah. Just so you can call it a 4-seater. Yeah. So the guy gets in and I finish setting up all my settings to get it exactly where I need to go. The gauge cluster moves. It's so much cooler in real life than in the videos. Yeah. It's fucking sick. And I'm like, okay, like direct me where I need to go. And he was like, cool, we're going to get it on the main road. And so I have a checklist in my head of things that I want to see, right? First off, the rear wheel steering exceeds expectations, right? It's a big, long car. I know it's a big, long car. It feels like a big, long car. When you're turning, you don't even have to think about how you're maneuvering around a curb because your rear wheels aren't going to clip it. The rear wheels like get you out of the way, right?
That's cool.
Variable gear ratio steering and rear wheel steering. When you're at highway speeds and you turn, obviously the rear wheels turn with you. Very subtle at
Yeah.
speed, very subtle. I don't feel like I'm going to lose control of the car at high speed. At low speed, it makes maneuvering around parking lots way easier. At medium speed, you don't even realize that it's there. It's fantastic. It's really well dialed in.
That's cool.
I did not get to drive the car in anger. Obviously, I was on a test drive, so I wouldn't anyways. But I did move it into manual mode. Something that people have noted is that the transmission shifts are really rough at low speeds. I did feel that. In automatic mode, going at like shifting at like 2000 RPM, 1500 RPM, it is lurchy. It is clunky. It does not feel good. It wants to shift at higher RPM. When I got on the gas, if it's shifting above 3000 RPM, it's like butter. It feels like a dual clutch.
Yeah.
Interestingly, in every paddle shifting car I've driven, when you shift the paddles, half the time it doesn't shift. And when it does, it doesn't feel good. If you're shifting in a lower gear,
Yeah.
it like lurches really heavily. If you're shifting up a gear, it won't do it if you drop the RPMs like too low, right? Sometimes it just shifts on its own, right? I almost bogged this car in second gear. Like it
Oh, really?
started to lurch when I was too
Yeah.
low in the revs in second gear. And when I did shift to first gear, butter.
Really?
Super smooth. Yeah. Using the paddles feels exactly how you would want it to feel. The
That's
closest thing you can get to like a manual transmission feeling in your paddles, right?
Yeah.
Exactly what I'm looking for. I can be cruising at 40 miles an hour in fourth gear and blip it down to third, blip it down to second. There's no lurching. It just goes no lurching at all. Butter.
Cool.
Feels great. Like incredible. I loved the driving experience. The sound system worked fine when I was driving. We did an on-ramp onto I-95 and I had it in manual mode, in sport mode. And I got on it a little bit, not a lot, right? Because I didn't want like to get the guy in trouble or anything. Like I didn't want him to think that I was like beating on the car and not a serious customer, right? And I really had to remind myself walking in there because I've never driven like a nice, like this is the first $100,000 car I've driven, right?
Yeah.
And I had to remind myself like, I'm not some shithead teenager who is just trying to sneak his way into a test drive. I can technically afford this car right now, whether it's fiscally responsible or not. I can afford it. I am a serious buyer. I intend to buy one of these in the next 6 months. This is an actual fact-finding mission. I belong here. I'm not taking advantage of the system, right? So I got on the car a little bit. Sounds incredible. Did not have the pickup that I was anticipating, right?
Okay.
For a 470 horsepower car, I know it's heavy. I was expecting a little more. And when I got on the highway, I realized in my car, there's normal. And if you click up once, you go into sport. If you click down, you go into eco. So there's 3 modes, right? This one has 5. There's normal, eco, or normal, comfort, and eco.
Okay.
And then above it, there's sport and sport plus.
Okay.
And I had it in sport mode, not realizing that there's another sport mode past that. And so I was like, shit. Once I got on the highway, I switched it into sport plus mode and we were in traffic and I like let the traffic open up a little bit and I got on the gas a little bit more. Significant difference between a sport and sport plus. Unfortunately, I did not drive to get the sport plus on the on-ramp, so I didn't get the full feeling, but I know that there's more in the car. What's interesting is a couple things. Number one, brakes, very sensitive brakes. You barely tap on the brakes and you will like come like in traffic, right?
Yeah.
Slow speed traffic, not very comfortable on the brakes because the brakes are super solid. At speed, I'd really love to feel what it's like under braking at speed because they feel really powerful, right?
Yeah.
Like I think they're 4-piston fronts and they feel that way.
Yeah.
And so like I'm very happy with how the brakes felt, even though it's not comfortable in traffic. It's like, it is like half a sports car. It's not meant to feel super comfortable in traffic, right? I did try it in comfort mode and it was noticeably quieter in the cabin, just like they say. We were in standstill traffic for a little while, very comfortable in comfort mode in standstill traffic. I can start to feel the dual personality of the car, right? What's really interesting is that when you're driving the Camaro, it's cammed, so it wants to accelerate. You can feel that the car wants to go, right?
Right.
This car didn't have that. It didn't have the wants to go. It was really comfortable at like idle speeds, hardly moving, and it was equally comfortable accelerating on the on-ramp.
Okay.
Interestingly, when accelerating on the on-ramp, when you accelerate in the Camaro, you feel that it's constantly building up to RPM or to redline, like it's constantly building, and you have to tell it when to shift, right? In the Miata, it tries to beat you to redline, right? Like it tries to get there as quick as possible to bounce off redline.
Yeah.
This car drives like the Miata. It does not slowly build. It wants to hit redline, right?
Yeah.
which is interesting because like the pickup of the car doesn't feel like it wants to go like the Camaro, but the engine is ready to go. And it sounds fantastic. So like, and then we bring it back to the parking lot. Something I noticed is that the rear camera glare was really difficult to see. So I parked it wrong the first time. I did anticipate intuitively where the car would go with rear wheel steering, and it nailed it. Like it went exactly where I thought it would go when I was accounting for the rear wheel steering. I just couldn't see because of the glare. But the second time I did it, the glare was fixed and it was a lot better. So the rear wheel steering was great. Like, and I got out of the car and I was like, okay, talk to me about pricing. Because when I bought the ES, it was marketed for $33,000 online. I didn't tell him this, but like, well, I kind of told him some of it. I was like, it was marketed for 33 online. And when I got there, they said, okay, yeah, it's 33 if you finance with us and do a trade-in and we have these other fees. And I was like, is there anything like that? Like, can I come in and do my own financing? He was like, no, there's none of that. Like our price is $99,900. That is our price. We have like a $1,500 dealer fee, and then there's an electronic tax on top of that, right? So the all in out the door price is like 101,304 or something like that.
Okay.
So just over $100,000. It's what's marketed on our website that will not change when we sit down at the table. Like that is our price. Obviously, you'll want to include for like a registration and tax, sales tax, right?
Sure.
That's not incorporated. But other than that, there's no more like gimmicks or anything like that. And I was like, okay. And I was like, that's good to know. I really had to haggle the last people to get it down on the ES. And he was like, no, there's none of that. And he was like, we do have like room to move, like we can have a conversation. And at the time, I'm thinking he's telling me that there's hidden fees that we can negotiate. And I come to realize he's like, listen, I don't have 20 grand in the car, but like I can get it down to where like we can meet in the middle somewhere. Like we're reasonable people. Like I have a couple grand that we could probably shave off. And then I'm realizing that he's talking about negotiating the sale price of the vehicle. Like he's already conceding on that 99 number.
Yeah.
And he said he doesn't have 20 grand, but he can make something work, which tells me that he might have like 5 grand or 10 grand of wiggle room.
Sure.
Interesting note. This car it has 14,000 miles on it. Initially purchased in Lexus of Melbourne.
Oh, funny.
Very funny.
Huh.
He said that they got the car on a trade-in because the woman traded it in to get a Bentley. She's a regular customer. She takes immaculate care of all her Bentleys. She returns them all in great condition. This car has been really well maintained. I have the service records from the Carfax in my bag. She had oil changes done and inspections done on average every 1,200 miles. Sometimes she would only go like 400 miles between services. Very meticulously maintained. It's got paint protection and interior protection applied to the car already.
Oh, wow.
It was done before she even drove the car a mile. Meticulously maintained. It's an incredible condition, right? And it sounds like they have room to wiggle on price. As I'm talking to him, he was like, oh, like let me open the trunk so I can like put a tag on in the trunk. And I was like, oh, okay. And so he went back there, or like I was opening the trunk or something. He didn't know that you had to put the rear wing down before you could open the trunk. He didn't know where the button was for the rear wing. And so as we were talking about it, he wasn't familiar with the car. Like he's a Bentley salesman. He does not know what this car is. He does not know the package that this car has. They don't know what they have.
Right.
Which gives me a lot of leverage if I did negotiate on the car. And so we talked about it. I was like, I'm going to rerun some insurance quotes and like talk to my bank and I will be in touch with you. And he was like, okay, sounds good. And he let me go. No trying to tie me to the table. No like pushing me one way or the other or anything like that. None of the bullshit the last dealership ran me through. I felt zero pressure.
That's cool.
I left a 5-star Google review. I called him out by name. I was like, this was a fantastic experience. I'm going to recommend this to clients in the future. And I sent that to him. And he was like, wow, thank you for the kind words. Please let me know if there's anything I can do for you. And I was like, I will. So on the drive around West Palm, Grace and I went to get dinner.
This was Friday, right?
This was Friday.
Yeah.
I'm data dumping as much info on her as possible. Like everything I've said in this podcast is maybe 10% of everything I said to her. Like
Okay.
I really did my best to absorb everything I can in the drive and then encode that information in my brain by visually spitting it out at her on the drive home, right? I talked about that experience for 2 hours, easily 2 hours. And then I continued thinking about it after that. The next day we had condo showings with our client and then like we went to lunch afterward. And afterward, like we would be talking about something else. And then I would go, it said it had paint protection applied to it. I wonder if that's PPF or if it's ceramic coating. And Grace was like, can you please shut up? Like we're with a client. I was like, yeah. But like, I'm still like actively thinking about it. I have a major issue with this car. And the major issue is It's a perfect specimen. It's in immaculate condition. Everything worked flawlessly. It's from Lexus of Melbourne. It's been serviced meticulously. I trust this car. There's been multiple people online who have taken their car to 150,000 miles with nothing more than an oil change with no reliability issues. There's a guy who has a 2018, which is notorious for being like the worst one because it's the first model year made, so it has the most issues. Super stiff suspension, super rough transmission shift. He had a tune put on his car and a new exhaust put on his car, and he fucked with the suspension. And he took that car to 150,000 miles on nothing but oil changes with zero issues.
Wow.
Zero issues. And this is a 20. So as I'm looking at this, here's my issue. I want a 2023 because it has the most amount of like model updates done before they change to the screen, right? It's difficult for me to remember what changes they made every year. And so when I was reviewing my notes, I realized that it's true every year they make updates. And here's how the updates go. 2018, they come out with the car, complaints it's way too stiff, right? There's also complaints that the transmission is shifting kind of rough, right? So for the 2019 model, they make significant improvements in the suspension and the transmission shifting, right? They make a couple other software tweaks too. This is when they introduce wired CarPlay, right? So 2018 doesn't have wired CarPlay, only 2019 and on. From 2019 to 2020, they're very similar. They made minor tweaks to the transmission shifting, but otherwise everything else is fine. So 2019 and 2020 are comparable, right? 2020 has like slight improvements, right? For 2021, they made more updates to the transmission programming, right? From all accounts I've read from people who've driven the cars back to back, the transmission shift improvement is barely notable from 2020 to 2021. In 2021, they introduced the convertible. And that's a big deal because the only reason that they made a convertible is to get the LC to sell better in the US market because people love luxury convertibles, right?
Yeah. Remember, I'm so sorry.
No, go for it.
In Tennessee, when I left between my house
That's right. Yep.
and Wawa, I saw 3 LC500s.
Yep.
I saw a white one, a white convertible, and a wrapped matte black one.
Yep.
In those
span. Yeah.
8 minutes.
Yep.
It was crazy. I was like, what the hell?
Dude.
Yeah.
They might have been, there is a Space Coast LC500 club. They might have had it.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But they made the convertible, right? As a part of that, they were like, listen, we're trying to hit the like 55-year-old dude who wants like a GT car market.
Yeah.
So when they introduced the convertible, they also softened up the suspension across coupes and convertibles, right?
Got it.
Now, I want a luxury car. I want a luxury sports car. I want one with the dual personality. I would not mind having slightly stiffer suspension. I have heard accounts that when driving the 2020 and 2021 back to back, the 21 feels a lot more floating, right? You feel like you're floating through the corners and less grounded. I don't want that. I want the slightly stiffer suspension. Not 2018. I don't want a rough ride, but like 2020 is a sweet spot there, right? The big deal here is that in 2021, they integrated inner wheel brake vectoring to help you corner. So when you're going through corners, they drag the brakes on the inside wheels to help you rotate. I don't need that shit with rear wheel steering, right? I don't need that with a limited slip depth. I don't want that at all. I don't want the car braking if I'm not touching the pedal, right? So like that is a non-negotiable for me. I do not want that. And the auto enthusiasts who I follow who drive these cars feel the same way. They own 2020s or 2019s. And so I was wrong. 2023 is not my grail car. 2020 is my grail car, which means that the car that I drove is the car. Not even just like a good car, but it's like the exact spec that I want. It's got 14,000 miles on it, which is low for a 2020. It's priced incredibly well. It was bought in Lexus of Melbourne, for fuck's sake. It's like from my homeland, right? It's like the car.
Yeah.
And so my problem is that this car is the car. That's my problem. And I shouldn't have even fucking like looked at my search criteria and like, I shouldn't have gone and test driven it because it's like, it's everything that I wanted and more. It's like perfect. Like very rarely do I ride in or drive cars and feel like a deep emotional connection. Like I need this car, right? I mean, I've ridden in a lot of cars. I've sat in a lot of cars, like at the AMCM. Yeah. A lot of those cars, I go, man, it'd be cool to own one of these one day, right? Yeah. I think about this car every day. Yeah. I fall asleep thinking about this car. I feel the same like swell of emotion in my gut and in my chest that I feel when I look at the F1 at the revs, right? Yeah. Like I feel that connection with this car. And so when I got home, I was like kind of sad because I was like, I'm gonna miss it. Like I'm gonna miss this car. I can't get this car. Right. And so like I'm sad because I know that I'm gonna have the regret of not going for it when this car sells in 2 weeks and it's gone. And it'll especially suck if it goes and then in September I get a promotion and then I'm stuck waiting for another car to come on the market. And like for all I know, an even better one can come around, right?
Sure.
Same exact spec. Maybe it wasn't bought from Lexus in Melbourne, but maybe
Just as good.
maybe it's comparable. Maybe it's just
Sure.
as good, right? But in watching the market as I have the past few months, they don't come up. Like they don't. This level doesn't come up, right? And like maybe one comes up, but it's like atomic silver. Like maybe everything's
yeah.
perfect, but it's not the color I want, right? Because now I am set. I want a black one with the beige interior. Like that's what I have in my mind. That's what I want, right? And so like the grail, the holy grail car is here in front of me, tempting me. And so I talked with Grace about it and I was like, I don't know what to do, right? Because it's silly to like entertain it, but I feel terrible not entertaining it at all, right? What do I do? And she was like, run real numbers. Like go like do another insurance quote, like get Progressive on the phone and like verify that these numbers are real and like go for it. Like go see
Is this with full coverage, not just liability?
I don't remember what I did for the Progressive, but it's like go double check, right?
When you have you double checked yet?
No.
Okay.
So
when you go to double check,
right.
the
Uninsured
full
motorist.
coverage is up to you. Personal recommendation, strong recommendation.
Right.
Save my fucking ass.
Right.
Strong recommendation for mine. That's up to you. At the very minimum, liability is required in Florida.
Yep.
But beyond the liability, what's not required, which I would not go without, is uninsured motorist insurance.
Yep.
Because someone uninsured with no money can hit you.
Yep.
And you will never get the money out of them.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and medical bills as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, uninsured motorist is a big deal. I would have gap insurance on the car, so like if it was totaled, I wouldn't have to worry about it anyway. But obviously, if you totaled the car, then you're probably in a hospital, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna look into it, right?
Sure.
Because I would have a bigger regret if I didn't try at all than if I at least tried, right?
Yeah.
So on Saturday, I went onto Northrop Grumman FCU online and I applied for a loan.
Okay.
I'm still waiting to hear back on that loan. If I get approved for that loan, I'll run insurance quotes to see like what it would realistically look like, right?
Got it.
There are people online who say that they have like $1,200 6-month insurances, which is $200 a month.
Yeah.
Which my quote from Progressive for both Lexuses was like $207 a month or something like that. So like not too far off.
That's 2 cars for 207.
That's true, but I've been a Progressive member for over a year, so I have like special status, and they're offering me like benefits, right?
Yeah, maybe double check your coverage.
Well, I would want to double check my coverage, and then I would also want to double check that they're not just going to increase it after 6 months.
Right.
So I have to check, right? But I talked to Grace about it, and I was like, I don't know. Like in life, you choose your regrets, right? And like I don't know what I would regret more, like not going forward at all, or trying, right? And like you don't know if you don't try, right? So for all I know, I declined for my loan, and it doesn't matter. And I tried, and I just have to wait for a promotion to get a loan. And like I cannot buy the car without the loan, so like I'm forced to wait, right? If I get approved for the loan, and it's a decent interest rate, and like the monthly payment isn't that bad, then I have to look at insurance. And if insurance is like $800 a month, then like it's out the door, I can't afford it, right? But if insurance is reasonable, then I have a decision to make, which is if I can barely afford the car today, and I'm due a promotion in the next 2 months, do I accept the risk of 2 tighter months and then bank on a promotion or switching jobs, or do I hold off? And that's not a decision that I can make if I am not approved for a loan and don't have a solid insurance quote.
Sure.
And so I'm not making any decisions, but there was a girl who I met in high school at Bagel World Beachside. And she had the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen. To this day, gorgeous, stunning eyes, right? You get lost in those eyes. It's the only time I've ever seen her. And like when she cashed me out and then she cashed my buddy out like right after that, and we left and I was like, dude, her eyes were stunning. He was like, dude, she treated me like shit. She was into you. She was nice to you. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah, dude. Like she like did not even look at me. Like I saw her eyes, but like she didn't even look at me. And I was like, man. And like every day since then, not every day, but like since then, I've thought like, I wonder how different my life would be if I had like talked to that girl or gone back or whatever, right? And like I would fucking hate to have that feeling with this car if I just was like, another day, and I just let it go. So I'm going to try and we're going to see how far it goes. Maybe I get declined for the loan and it doesn't matter. And maybe I get a loan and the insurance is high, or maybe both of those things work out and the car sells before I can get all that stuff together, right?
Sure.
Doesn't matter. I'm flirting with the hot girl at the bar and we're having good conversation and I'm going to ask her if she wants to go get drinks at another bar and maybe she says yes. And maybe after that I ask her to go back to my place. Who knows? Who knows? I'm just going to keep flirting and see how far I can take it, right? But I'm actively learning a lesson because it's either going to go one way where the door is opened and I decide if I take it or not, or the door is closed and I just need to work harder to make more money to get approved for a loan and can afford it. But I'm actively learning that lesson. But the experience driving this car really like hammers home to be like, I fall asleep thinking about that drive. I wake up thinking about that drive. It's all I think about all day.
Yeah.
All I think about is that car. I need that car in my life. I need that car in my life. And so I've decided that like I'm not going to get an ES or an LS in the next 6 months. I'm going to figure out how to get an LC in the next 6 months. I have to. By the end of the year, my goal is to own an LC if the right one pops up. Obviously, if I get a promotion in September and the right car doesn't hit the market, I'm not going to buy one short-sighted. Like I'm going to buy the car. That's another thing from taking this test drive is that like after being in this car, because I've seen my coworkers, right? The Inspiration Series 2020. I've sat in the 2021 in the Lexus of Melbourne, right? I've seen them around town, right? None of them make me feel the way this specific spec makes me feel. And so like that's the spec that I'm going to get. And so like I'm resolute in that.
Yeah.
So I don't have a lesson learned this week. The lesson I learned
LC story.
The lesson I learned is that I have to have this car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear you. I do have some honest concerns, and it's not in a mean way. It's I mean I do worry a little bit, kind of for your sake with it, because it is a lot of car. It is very expensive and it is tight regardless of how you spin it.
Without a promotion, yes.
Yeah, I mean, even with the promotion, it is still a lot of car. I mean, it's a big chunk of money, right?
That's true.
Even if you're making $8,000 a month,
Sure.
$1,000 a month can go a long way in many places,
Right.
right? I don't know what your promotion would be. Maybe it wouldn't be $8,000 a month, but just as like an example, whatever, right?
Sure.
Like even that chunk of money, right? And so I want the best for you. I want you to really enjoy the car. I also don't want you to put yourself in a position where it's really stretched thin and it gets a lot harder.
Right.
Because I had that with e-com and I'm still fighting out of that.
Right.
And I wouldn't be fighting out of that if I probably if I hadn't gotten the shop space, right? Because now essentially, if I hadn't gotten the shop space and the
more
storage
money could go to
unit,
that. Right.
more money could go to that, and that would probably be even, right? So I'm still paying out of that steadily, and I'm paying it down, but the rate at which I'm paying it down is slightly lower. And obviously, like the total amount is very manageable right now. I have everything towards 0% APR credit card, besides a few grand, which is it's a floating 25% interest per year, not per month.
Right.
But that is I'm on track to pay that down within the next 4 weeks. I think I can manage that down because of the 3 paycheck month.
Right.
And just general expenses like trying to sell this eBay stuff would help, right? But it's not required for me to make that go away. I still have to kind of formulate my thoughts a little bit better. And I want to have I want to run through with you kind of what your numbers are looking like and kind of what you're thinking business wise as well as promotion wise to kind of get a not because I want to tell you no on this or because I want to hammer it down or whatever, but I can't sit back and be
buy a car you can't afford, right?
Or on the surface, as a good friend, I can't sit back and be oh, it'll probably be fine, whatevs. Right. I want to understand it, but I also want to bring a little bit of a maybe another perspective or maybe a perspective you already thought about. I just don't know. To the table a little bit and just have a good chat about it. It's not really an air chat. And we've also been going for 3 hours.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I haven't bought the car. I don't have the
yeah.
option to buy the car right now.
right.
Like I couldn't pull the trigger if I wanted to.
Yeah, right. And so that's why that's part of the reason why I've waited a little bit too, is like I wanna like I don't want to like have a deep serious talk about it if it's like if you don't get approved for the loan, long story
Right,
short, right?
right.
Like
Well,
there's a balance there.
If I don't
right?
get approved for the loan,
And I also want to give you like the freedom and independence to kind of come to your own conclusions without
Sure.
immediately jumping on with an opinion.
right. Well,
Right.
and like I'm happy to have the conversation because I don't want you thinking that I'm like losing $500 a month and that like I'm gonna have to sell all my assets and then like come live in your garage, right? Like I don't
Right.
want you to be worried.
No,
But
I mean, I'm not really. I mean, I do have like some concerns, like for like long story short, right? Like this is not the main concern I have. But like one concern that I do have is like $100,000 car on my lift without any sort of like paperwork or liability discussion is a challenge for me.
Mhm.
Because even if the case is the car fell off the lift, I was in Alaska, the lift was perfect,
Yeah.
but something went wrong somewhere, right? Regardless of the liability and the fault in the situation, it still pulls me into a situation where there is like insurance and legal stuff and blah blah blah
Mhm.
and a big headache at the
Right.
minimum,
Right.
right? And so like there's stuff like that that like I have concern over because like I've never had $100,000 car on my list before, right? I've had them at Autobahn, but it's different at Autobahn because I'm
Yeah.
an employee of a business, right?
Right.
Um, and so like just stuff like that, but that's like logistical stuff
Mhm.
that can be work. Like my main concern is just like for you, like, is this a good move? And is this the story you want to tell? And is this the best trajectory?
Right.
Right. And it's more discussion on that. Like the the liability, like figuring out like that side of things, like how does this work? Also, like I don't have tools to work on that car for a lot of that stuff. Like
A lot of the
any
stuff is
sort of
fundamental.
rear wheel steering or
Mhm.
electronic assist or rear wing or any sort of like interior trim stuff like massaging seats, complicated climate control
Yeah.
systems. Like I don't have the tech in order to be able to interface with that. So
Right.
that's like totally on Lexus of Melbourne. And a lot of stuff that's also like, even if I had a nice Autel for $2,500 like Autobahn does,
Mhm.
like they can't even do a lot of programming because the dealerships will lock it down. And so it's like you're
Right.
forced to go to a dealership, right? So those are like added expenses and stuff like that.
Right.
Like no one can solve that problem outside of Lexus,
Yeah.
right?
I do know people who have got their own parts and then they've gone to their Lexus dealers and the Lexus dealers like let them in the bay and they're involved in the work
Yeah.
and like they use their own
Right, but you still
parts.
pay Lexus hourly rate.
Yes, that's
Right,
correct.
right. So
That's
there's a
correct.
big difference there.
Right.
Right. So there's stuff like that, and also just like making sure that like this is where you want to put your eggs, right,
Right.
as opposed to other alternatives and options.
Right.
So just I'm trying to like ride the line between letting you kind of swim in independence over it as and not be like too imposing on it, but also like I can't help but like I at least want to chat with you a little bit before you like actually put $100,000 on a car,
Right.
right? Because it's like and it's not from a personal concern, right? But it's vastly 99% from a I don't want you to put yourself into a situation that is akin or similar to what I did without really realizing it.
Right.
And to not say that you wouldn't have analyzed it thoroughly, but there's also again a lot of places that an extra 1,000 or 1,500 a month can go,
Right.
right?
Well,
And
and that's been
so
the biggest pushback that I've gotten from other people, like Justin and Bo. Like every
yeah,
time I text them about it, they're like, "That could go into a 401k, and then like that could be $50 million
right,
by the time you retire." And I understand that perspective.
yeah,
Not a lot of people own $100,000 cars because not a lot of people like choose to live that lifestyle, right? Like
right,
they would
yeah,
rather put that money in places where that could turn into more money, right?
yeah.
And that's a completely like valid and reasonable like opinion to have.
Sure, yeah. My end of it doesn't really come from the 401k end, right?
Right. Right.
It
Right.
comes from like if 1,500 extra bucks were put into real estate or this other program or this type of advertising here or this type of resource to help you with XYZ in
Right.
a business or in your personal life or whatever, like that's where I more come in is like, is there another metaphorical vehicle you can put the money into to have the much more freedom in order to get the $150,000 Lexus with 2 miles on
Right.
it,
Right.
right? So it's like, it's kind of like that. That's kind of the discussion I want to have. Oh, maybe this week we could get together or something like
Well,
that.
if I get declined for the loan, we don't have to worry about it. So we'll see.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Um,
I'll let you know. I'll do the math, and then if the math checks out, then I'll give you a call and we'll talk about it
yeah,
before I
yeah.
like drive down to
Yeah,
West Palm.
I just want to make sure you're making the right decision for
Mhm.
you, and I don't think I'll sound like the you could have just put it in a 401k and sat on your 9 to 5. Like that's
Right.
not the conversation. It's more so of like, is this the right trajectory now, and how can you or we plan for you to get this car? Because I want you to have the car. Obviously, I'm a car guy. I want you to have the car.
Mhm.
But what is the best metaphorical vehicle in order to get there
Right.
and give you the independence, and whether that's delayed or not delayed, how can that work? And
Right.
what's kind of the best path forward, right? And
Right.
it comes from a place of caring. Like I want you to have the stuff that
Mhm.
you want, of course. And I want you to succeed. And like, if if you make a billion times more money than I do, I'm happy for you, right? It's
Yeah.
like, it's just like, but I do want, I want to care, and I want to try and, let that. But
Yeah.
long story short, I'm very happy that you drove one and you liked it.
Me too.
It's always a fun experience when you get to drive a cool
Dude,
car that you love.
This is
So,
like this is maybe like if you got to drive an F40. It
yeah,
was like that close to me.
yeah.
Right.
It
I mean, I haven't loved
maybe it
this
was
since
similar
childhood,
for
but
sorry.
yeah.
Maybe it was similar for I drove a 308 at
Yeah.
Autobahn.
Yeah.
And like that was like kind of a car that I'd idealized for a very long time, over a decade. And so like that, like I still think about that day.
Right.
And I still think about the day when I drove that GT3 past the mailman
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
was screaming in second
Yeah.
gear, right? So there are days like that where it's like, wow.
Dude,
Yeah.
every since then, every thought that I've had is like I got out of the car and I texted Grace and I was like, we got to buy more headache medicine this week because I have a headache after driving the Camaro with no earbuds in. And she was like, okay, sounds good. And I was like, and LC would never do this to me. The battery died and I was like, batteries don't die in LCs. They're reliable. I do that. But no.
It doesn't rain when I drive those seats.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. Well, and like there's other thoughts that I've also had about it, right? Which is like there are logistical situations that like I have to solve. So like one of the examples is what do I do with the Camaro, right? Because in an ideal world, I put the Camaro in a garage and I slowly fix it over time. I drive it once a month to make sure it's mechanically sound, and then I can enjoy the car once it's fully restored in like 5 years, right?
Sure.
Well, if I'm buying an LC, then I'm not affording to put the Camaro in a garage and also fix it. It's like the Camaro will not run, right? Regularly, right? Also, if I take my Camaro off my insurance, it's illegal to have a registered vehicle in Florida without also having insurance. So it's all or nothing. It's either registered and insured and I can still drive it, or it's nothing. If it's not insured, if it's not registered, there's no plates on it, I can't park it here, right?
Yeah.
I could keep my Camaro in my garage, but then the LC is parked outside. And that's a bummer.
That's no bueno.
Exactly. So then how do I solve that issue? Because if I keep it registered, that's not a problem. It doesn't cost a ton of money to register a car. I would have to insure it. Through Haggerty, I could switch it to Haggerty. It'd be like $25, $30 a month.
Yeah.
That seems reasonable. But if I'm on narrow margins already, then that's an issue, right? If I'm able, I will not buy the LC if I am in the negative, right? So like if I do the math and I'm like, it's a little more than I thought, but like I would only lose $200 a month until I get a promotion and then I'd be in the positive. That's too much of a stretch. I have to, in an isentropic scenario, at least break even, if not like only keep $50, right? Because I have savings I can lean on if something happens. I'm like, going to get a promotion one way or the other. I'm either going to go to another company. I have been in talks with people from other companies who have said like, I would hire you at a higher position. So like, in any case, I've thought about it from a ton of different angles, but there's stuff like that I haven't genuinely considered because so far it's been, wouldn't it be cool if I had one? It'd be nice to have one. I'd like to go see one. And none of the thoughts have been, okay, I'm actually going to go for it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm still not like fully leaning into the how do I solve those problems because it's still kind of a pipe dream. Like I haven't gotten firm quotes. I haven't gotten approved.
Yeah.
So we'll see when I get there. And even if I do get approved, right? Like if I get approved for the loan on Monday, tomorrow, but the car sells tomorrow, then like I'm not in a rush to figure this stuff out because the car's gone.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna have, if the car sells on Monday and I get approved for the loan on Monday, I'm not gonna figure it out so that I can go buy the car in Tampa that's like blue and it's a 2024 for like an extra $1,000.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that, right? It's
Yeah.
just for this specific VIN. If I can make it work with this VIN, and I'll take it as it comes. But
Yeah.
It's not a decision where I'm just like, oh, the math says I can do it, so I'm gonna go for it, right? Like I am considering it from all of those different perspectives.
Yeah.
Um,
And like I said last time, if you're gonna spend $100,000 on a car, make sure it's the perfect one.
and that's what I did. That's
Yeah,
what I did on
yeah.
Friday. Is I made sure that it was the right one, and it
Right.
is the right one.
Yeah.
I in their photos, Bentley of West Palm has like an interesting like camera room.
Yeah,
with a
I saw that
turnstile.
in the listing.
Yeah,
they
and
did a cool job.
it
yeah.
looks like a matte finish on the car in those photos.
Yeah, it looks very matte.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, weird. Like I don't care because I'm there just to drive the car, right? But when I pulled up, it is not matte. It looks like a regular like black LC. And so I guess it's just like the lighting that they have in that camera room. It does have a ceramic coat on it, so maybe the direct light like diffused it in the camera room. But in person, like you can see the depth in the paint. It looks good.
Yeah.
And yeah, I confirmed. Now I have seen the acorn brown interior from the Inspiration series. I've seen the black and red interior at Lexus of Melbourne, and now I've seen the toasted caramel, and like that's the one.
Yeah.
So, and I've confirmed that Apple CarPlay works, and like I can set my phone in the right position and whatever. Like I've ran through the gamut to make sure that it's everything that I want in the car, and it is. So
Right.
at the very least, I now have a very clear vision of what I want, and I have a memory to think about. Like I've just in the last day, when you're tired and you're like, maybe I should just go to sleep so I have more energy for tomorrow. Like I think about that drive and I'm like, nah, I'm gonna keep going,
Right.
and that's motivational.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, long story short, I'm glad you drove it.
Me too.
I'm glad you had fun.
Me
So
too.
it's always a great experience driving a car that you love.
Yeah, that's all I got.
But I guess that's it. Well, thank you all for tuning in to episode 115 of the Vision 79 podcast. Hope you all have a great week. Stay safe out there. Lots of crazy drivers. But be well, and we will see you next time.
I have a dial-in quote if you're interested.
Oh, shit. There you go. Got me. Got me.
I let you do the whole thing.
Shit.
I let you do the
Yeah.
full outro.
I haven't forgotten in a while. Go for it.
So this quote is in relation, a big motivator for getting another car is the unreliability of the Camaro. And it's not the only reason. It's a contributing factor. I'm not going to buy a $100,000 car because the Camaro breaks down once a month. That's not the reason. It's a contributing factor. So the quote is a quote from me that I wrote after the 2024 Australian Grand Prix, where Max Verstappen's car broke down on like lap 2. And the quote is, "I wish my car were as reliable as Max's Red Bull. I wish my car were reliable enough to break down on lap 2 instead of lap 1, because my car breaks down so often."